the beginning of a transition from a volunteer reserve fire department to a full-time paid fire department.
We used to have practice once a month, and we got $2.50 for going to practice, and we got $2.50 for going to a fire. So you can say that was underpaid or overpaid.
They would come in if we needed a second person to ride on a truck. You'd page it out. If one was available, they'd come in and pick up their points. It might be $5, $10 for the points for that day, but they were willing to do that.
Sam Patterson had a business on Grand Avenue, a lawn business. Well, his partner would run it, and Sam would be here all the time. So we had these guys, and they were a huge help.
We had a fine group of volunteers. A lot of our paid people came off the volunteer roles because they were sincere. We did not have a problem recruiting them. They were firefighters. That's all I saw. They were just as dedicated, just as willing. They did the most they could with what they had, and if you work with some reserves, volunteers for a while, you get to see another side of the fire service.
So I started out in the fire department when I was a junior in high school in 1983. I became a Peoria Fire Department cadet. I was the only cadet they had.
When I was 19, I was a reserve for Rural Metro Fire Department in Sun City. Then I got hired in 80, full-time in Sun City. And I was there for 5 years, and I tested for Peoria because I knew some people on Peoria.
Things were moving fast. We were growing in Peoria. I actually started with Rural Metro way back in the day. I was there about a year before I got hired in Peoria. Took the test for Peoria twice, and the second time I got hired.
I was the 9th professional firefighter hired here. So my badge number's 9. They're up in the 300s and subs now. Peoria was just at the time, was just starting to take off. And some of my mentors had kind of guided me toward Peoria because they said, you're getting in on the ground floor, this is just a department taking off, and you'll have a lot more opportunity out there, which turned out to be really true.
By that time, we carried a Plextron. It really looked like a lunchbox. You had to carry it by hand everywhere you went. That's how you got paged out when you were at home. A couple full-timers, we carried a pager.
When you're at home sleeping in the middle of the night, the pager went off and you jumped in your boots and you ran to the fire.
So it really, I mean, it was a simplistic approach, but it worked. You worked with what you have.
We had what we needed, and we did what we had to do. Mike, he tried and did get a lot of things that we needed. He got us training. That was a huge thing. At that time, the community colleges they did not have a fire science program at that time. We didn't come here with that stuff, and a lot of things that we did back then, they don't do nowadays. It was dangerous.
I met with the librarian. I found some IFSTA training manuals. I couldn't afford to buy 25 of them. And then we all signed them out one at a time. Boom, we got a training program. And from there, we brought on some people that could train. You know, Rick Picard, Les Robleski, Johnny, these folks could train. And we hired a lot of good people off that reserve program.
That's always hard because suddenly you got paid guys being challenged by the volunteer guys. But they kind of took offense because we would set up training nights and make it mandatory for them to come, and they didn't like having to come, on a weeknight to train, but to be a firefighter, you gotta train.
I think that they was going to a paid department, and it was just the end of the era. Everything was getting high-toned and uppity, you might say, I guess. It wasn't going to be any more fun anymore.
But I embraced the training because I wanted to learn. The ones that were happy were those of us that knew we were going to get hired. We stayed in shape, we stayed with the training, we stayed on top of all the book work, and that's what kind of started driving them out. When they were mandated to be at training, but when they didn't show up, they'd get cut.
Yeah, a lot of the young and new people didn't like it. But you have to know what you're doing. You have to be ready for anything. And training and exercising is part of it.
Besides running the calls and responding to the calls, I think the most important thing we do is train. You got to be an industrial athlete. You got to be physically fit for this job. It'll save your life someday because it is tiring.
Let's go. Come on. Good hustle, man.
Our paid people knew how to work with their reserve program. Reserves knew how to integrate into the paid system.
And as the years went on and more people, we needed more room in the fire station. It was getting smaller and smaller as we were growing and growing.
slept all together in a bunk room. When I first started, we had bunk beds in there. You know, we used to cram 8, 9 people in that station.
A fire would go out, everybody would pile onto the floor at the same time, and you know, you couldn't even get out of the room.
But we were happy. In fact, the first night Dave and I slept in that room was my 30th birthday. I'll never forget it. And we were like, wow, this is great.
You know, you think back on it, it was kind of fun being there with those guys and running calls out of that station. But it was nice to get a new modern station once we did move out.
We built Station 2, I believe it was in the late 70s, early 80s. That came up because of Westbrook Village, because that was a big problem. We have no fire units close to it. They were in a contract with Rural Metro. But you've got to provide your own or you'll never grow. So we came up with a plan. We bought a trailer. I think we paid $700 or $1,200 for it. Had it towed up. Public Works put some rocks down in front of the trailer. We had a pole put up, ran some power, and we were running fire. And we were doing it with usually one regular paid and at least one volunteer.
We had a chief who, his business model was to start with temporary stations and try to build from them.
We'd find an area we wanted to be, where the station should be. We put a mobile, start staffing it when the money's available. We moved the mobile, built the station, move a mobile somewhere else. You knew there was going to be a station when you saw a mobile there first. It was just one of those little indicators.
But I can tell you that as a firefighter in the stations, some of the best times I had were in the crappiest stations, with the crappiest trucks, but with the best guys.
When you grow up in the fire service, you're in a fire station and you're pretty isolated. You remember the camaraderie the most, hanging around with your brother and sisters in the firehouse, having a good time, working out, cooking meals.
For me, the funnest time working at the fire station was what we call family time. Everybody sits down to eat, and then when everybody's done, you push back from the table and you just start BSing about everything.
It was a smaller department, so everybody knew you, which can be good or bad. If you messed up, everybody knew. If you did a good job, everybody knew.
We opened up a station on 83rd and Amiozola, Station 93.
And me and my crew moved from 91 to 93, lived in that trailer while they built the station that's there now. We started getting some nice stations and nice apparatus. Me and my crew, we actually opened this station. The day it went into service, we packed everything in the kitchen. We unloaded the mattresses. We put this place together that day, and there was nothing around us, not a thing. The stanchion was just starting down the road. The golf course was there, but there was no houses.
And now we're up to, eight fire stations, state-of-the-art facilities with washer and dryer, your own bedroom. That stuff has all changed tremendously.
I still get a feeling of, I can drive by and remember the parades, and I remember the water fights we used to have on the 4th of July. There's just so much. But I'm proud to have worked out of that. How many folks worked out of something like that? I'm proud of it.
I know the guys would love to have this building back, but time goes on, things change.
At that time, we weren't able to negotiate for wages, hours, and working conditions. Basically, the council would say, here's 2%, and that was the end of it. You didn't have a say in anything.
I came from a really non-union family. My dad was a farmer, so he hated union farm workers. He hated unions. So that was drilled into my head as a kid, but I saw a need for it here.
It was both proactive and reactive. The reactive part of that was, hey, we were young, we were having growing pains, wages were an issue. We're not paid well. Living conditions were an issue.
Fire chiefs are in a difficult position. You want to have, the labor wants to have labor management with the fire chief, but they have their bosses to report to, being the city manager, and the city manager to the city council. Well, and there were things that he could not do. Just could not do as a fire chief.
And so we needed a vehicle to be able to express that and to deal with that and to come to solutions.
It gave us a chance to negotiate where we could have a say in things.
It actually started before I was hired. They were looking into it, but you can't start a union until you have at least 9 firefighters. And so when I was hired, I was the 9th firefighter.
They had 9 members on the fire department at that time, and they all formed a union. Joe Woodall was the union president.
We put it on a city ballot and let the people decide, and they voted overwhelmingly to accept our local and to recognize us as the talking piece for the employees. And that was a floodgate. The cops were next. Ask me, all the city workers. After that, everybody organized and everybody's in the union now.
Sam Patterson, DeViro, Ernie Pugh, those guys, Dave Stutzman, those were the guys who had the union before we got here. And when I got here, we had merged, just afterwards, we merged into Local 493, which was Phoenix's umbrella union, which really helped us out. It gave us numbers. After a couple of years I got interested in the dynamics of it. And I think what interested me more about it was the politics of it. So I ran for union president.
When I arrived, Ron Singleton was the union president, but he was always working with the local leadership about what we needed to be safe out there and to be able to complete the mission and do our job.
Like safety equipment, better fire engines. I mean, there were times when we were in yellow fire trucks. And just for the record, fire trucks are red, not yellow.
The union, I think, was instrumental in helping us move forward. A lot of that, where we're at today, has to go to that relationship and the stuff that the union folks did over the years.
The fire service has progressed probably through my career more than it has for the previous 200 years. And a lot of that has to do with technology.
We had all the basic equipment we needed. We just needed to update it.
Our SCBAs were the old Scott packs that had the mast but had a big snorkel trunk thing that you screwed in the side.
Two guys could go in with those and the rest just went in without them. That's what you did back then, and we never thought anything about what we were breathing or anything like that.
You know, our old pass devices you had to actually turn on. Now they automatically go on when you turn your bottle on. With technology it changed, so those are a lot safer.
But as time went on, we needed more. We needed better air packs. We needed better first aid kits.
Not like it is now. It's, good Lord, that stuff they got now, why, wow.
I was amazed at how they have to have things that I didn't know. The aluminum ladders, I guess they have to have them x-rayed something or every so often and things like that. We didn't know anything about that.
Our equipment is tops. I mean, you really can't get burned anymore.
Of course, half of us are deaf in our left ears from the siren.
And then came enclosed cab trucks. Was like, wow, we need to get those, you know. And those changes were huge.
We got new engines in 84 and 85, Tulip French engines, Century cabs. They were awesome.
And then the hearing protection. But once we got that and it was connected to our radios, that was,
Now we have full-blown computers. It shows you where all our fire hydrants are. It shows you exactly where the call is.
At that time, an engine cost $156,000, and now they're over $500,000. It's crazy.
And, you know, this was during the growth time in the city. There was a lot of competition for funding. The fireboat was an interesting story because we were able to get a grant from one of the Indian tribes, and they bought our first boat. And it took me 14 years to do that. Totally changed our operation. So this is actually our second fireboat. It did come in handy. Tempe called and requested it one day. They had a train bridge fire and their boat was out of service. And we were able to put it together quickly, get the trailer up here for it, had a police escort out on the freeway all the way to Tempe, and they were able to use this boat to fight the fire.
So we're constantly learning and trying to get better at our craft. The medical stuff has gone through the roof. What we used to do when I first got hired to what we do now is just so much more.
They've been expanded a lot in first aid. We were not in first aid. I was not a first aid person.
we only had EMTs when I first started. We packaged the patient up, and when the ambulance got there, they took them. And then we transitioned to getting our own paramedics.
We hired 3 medics and started a medic program. We needed a medic program. Time was here.
When I became a paramedic, thankfully I had some experience coming in. Back then, I was the only paramedic on the truck.
That was pretty much it. And now, you know, now we have 2 paramedics on every truck in the city. We have our own ambulance service, so we have that continuity of care.
You know, it's 80% of what the fire department does is EMS. Now, those ambulances respond and then they're with the fire trucks and you're transporting immediately. So the standard of care is astronomical to where it was.
You know, we went from having no ambulances, now we have our own ambulance service with 5 to 6 ambulances in service.
We can now do everything they do in a hospital if somebody has a heart attack right there in the field.
But the reality is we just got better. All this comes together with work. It comes together with somebody having a vision.
From the newest recruit to the fire chief, they remember what we were and what we are. And it may be bigger, shinier, so it got a lot more capability, but it's the same spirit. The same heart is here. You can sense it.
You know, you get into that fire truck and you start going on calls and it's addictive.
It's kind of interesting because you don't really realize how many calls you go on over a career in 35 years, and you forget probably 90% of them, you know. But for some reason, some calls stick with you.
Eugene Mason went and got that cat out of the tree, and the cat jumped and he contacted the power line. He fell and died.
But we did climb tree poles to get cats or things like that. But after Gene Mason died, they wouldn't do it anymore.
We had some fires that, well, I mean, they were as bad as you can get.
Chlorine fire in Glendale. That was the largest fire I was ever on. 5 alarms, 100 tons of chlorine burning. And we went there and were there from like 7 o'clock at night till 9:30 the next morning. They sent my crew, myself, we went 450 feet in that warehouse. We shouldn't have been in there. I knew enough I told Polly, throw that nozzle down. We're out of here. I'm looking up and moths were falling out of the sky. The chrome on our engines were pitted from the chlorine. It ate the buttons on our turnout coats. I'll never forget that. I still flash back to that sometimes, like, oh man, that was the worst fire I was ever on. And our fire department doctors for our physicals told us that were on that fire, he said, you guys shortened your lives by 10 years from that fire.
The biggest threat for firefighters today is being exposed to occupational illnesses.
Your rate of cancer is tenfold what somebody else's is. It's because of the carcinogens that burn. But a lot of that stuff is absorbed through your skin.
The knowledge is better. You know, now we're hosing our equipment off after every fire and turning it in and getting it washed. Before, we would hang it out to dry, put it back on, and go to the next one. Another big thing that just started is that we're early screening for cancer, trying to catch that stuff early, because a lot of it's preventable if we catch it early enough. And then with that, too, is the mental health programs that the fire department has put in place.
Back in the day, mental health wasn't even discussed. You had to get back in that truck and then be ready to go to the next one.
We never had somebody to go to talk about a mental problem that you're having. We went to the bar.
It is dysfunctional in life to go to work in the morning, have breakfast and watch cartoons with the kids, go to work, put your life on the line, watch other people put their life on the line, see people seriously mauled, injured, or killed, and then go back home the next day and try to make it functional.
The kid calls were really emotional for me.
I remember the first time I saw hanging. I still remember that one like it was yesterday. It was somebody had hung himself in the garage from the scuttle hatch.
To be honest with you, the ones that threatened me, my life personally, weren't the ones I remembered the most. It was the ones where I couldn't save somebody. That's the ones that bothered me. I remember when I was with rural, I had a captain and we had 3 fatalities in a row. I mean, one was a car, one was a baby drowning, one was a motorcycle hit and dragged down the road, another was a man screaming as he burned to death. It was just a long night.
You weren't gonna let something like that, a dead baby or mass casualty, that's what we're here for. Man up, go home, shower up, and go out the next day and get drunk.
It's kind of like not wearing an air pack into a fire. It was a macho kind of thing. You know, you don't cry, you accept it, you move on, but you bury that, and eventually it comes up. We had this high divorce rate this whole time. We had this high suicide rate this whole time, and then we wondered why. And so we finally figured it out. We're like, we're not dealing with this stuff.
So we had that happen to us a couple years ago where 2 of our firefighters took their lives, and it's devastating for the folks left behind.
There was a period of time, and I can't even remember what year it was, where the city got a counseling program together.
I don't even remember why, but they brought a counselor in, and the crews were just like, you know, berating her. What are you doing here? You don't know nothing. Get out of here. You can't help us, you know.
Before it was like, oh, I'm not going to go talk to anybody because it's not cool. But now it's known. You're taught that as a young firefighter. Hey, if you need to talk to somebody, there's people out there for you.
So we understand that. We have a process in place, a wellness program in place that allows people to reach out. The traumatic stuff, anytime those come out, the peer assessors on duty reach out to that crew or that battalion chief and just check in. And if we see somebody going down the road, then we try and get them to the professionals that can help chat with them. But it's those tough times that bind you as a group, if that makes sense. That adversity you go through as a group that only you know about with each other, that's the stuff that binds firefighters.
So I worked with John Valentine at Station 3 for quite a while, and he became ill. He was a very well-respected firefighter.
One of our firefighters had a seizure, and they took him away to the hospital. They came back and said he had a big tumor mass. He ended up getting treatment, got surgery, got back to the truck, and then ended up coming back, and he ended up passing away, and that's where our charities came from.
Everybody wanted to help out his family, and so we added an extra $10 onto our union dues, and that money went directly to his widow.
So everybody gave what they could, supported the family for a number of years, and then the family finally came back and said, you know what, we're doing really good right now.
And so it was her suggestion that, you know, maybe you guys could put it into a scholarship fund or something.
We kept doing the $10 a month, which started the charities program.
So to this day, people still contribute to the fund. They also do fundraising, and all that money stays in the community, and then we do great things with it.
We support local high school kids that go for scholarships.
We have a really unique program. We have a card, a debit card basically, on each truck, and the captain has the ability, if he sees a need in the community, to take care of it. So that's been a very successful program. And that all came out of John, and it's kind of in his name.
Look what the fire union is doing, 493. They have the Toys for Tot program that we do on Christmas. They've got the program for learning English.
This fire department will always be there for the community, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if we have your backing, you'll always have us, and we'll always be there.
What are you guys doing now?
When we got hired, the person with the most time on had 10 years. Nobody was ever going to retire in our career. And all of a sudden they started retiring, and we had 20 years on. It's like, oh my goodness.
So I started in 1983, and I retired in about 35 years later. And I've been retired for 5 years now.
I just retired January 31st of 2023.
When I got off the volunteer, I was on there 26 and a half years.
I was 57, over half my life in the fire department.
It was just time. There comes a point in time where you just got to say it's time to go.
As years go by, you know, your body just doesn't do the things it used to do. And God forbid I got somebody hurt because I couldn't do what I needed to do. So that's when I decided it's time to go.
You know, these guys are up 24, 48 straight. It wears on you, you know, and when you're younger, you don't feel it. But as you get older, you know, it makes a difference.
My wife was happy. She said, you've been practicing for retirement for 40 years. So it was an easy transition for me.
You know, I've been firefighting since 76. This might be a chance to do something different.
I have 32 years in October, but I still love what I do. I'm one of the most fortunate folks in the fire department, I think. I've been very blessed with the career I have, with the family I have, with the friends I have. To me, it's been the greatest career that I could ever think of having.
My best friends right now came from this department, still, even being retired.
I can't imagine not staying in touch with people here, but with this department, I can't, because I was here when there was nobody here.
You know, I still see some of the guys that I work with on a regular basis.
The folks that go to these breakfasts are the folks that raised me in the fire department. They talk about the old times and how great it was and how much fun it was and how we had nothing but we came together and we all survived.
We were sort of like a family, and the fire department is like a family now.
I care about every one of the guys in this department, and girls now. When I started, there were no girls.
They were good memories. I wouldn't trade them.
I think the talent that's up and coming. We got some really good firefighters that I think are going to be able to take this thing and keep on running with it and make it even better than what we have now.
What gets me excited? Oh, the young people.
The new people coming up, Sunrise Mountain High School. Captain Camilla, Danny Camilla, has taught a fire science program at that high school for years, and he's still doing that. He retired, but he's still up there.
So right now we're at Sunrise Mountain High School in the fire science classroom. But our program's unique as we have our own fire training area. We have our own fire training building. All the kids have their own turnouts. We have our own fire truck. So we're teaching them everything a firefighter would do except for going into a burning building. So we're just giving them those tools to kind of jumpstart them into their career.
I got to do hands-on projects like pulling out hand lines, and I got to connect to plugs and put up ladders. I got to learn new things that I never even knew were things before this.
So I've learned a lot from my students, and hopefully they learn a lot from me. And I think it goes both ways.
I couldn't have picked a better mentor. I couldn't have picked a better teacher to have in my life who's helped me through not only developing as a person, but also developing skills. He's taught me not only how to take a hydrant, how to do quick attacks that have helped me now. You know, we're doing these same skills in the academy that I'm at now, but he taught me really what it meant to be a leader. He taught me about taking pride and ownership in what you're a part of.
I've done everything I could to prepare, and I hope to get onto the fire department as quickly as possible. I want to start my life. This is a career that I know I want.
I'm excited about becoming a cadet. I'm really excited about doing some more ride-alongs, and I'm just excited for the process. I'm ready to get on somewhere. I'm ready to prove my worth.
I'm super excited for my future and what it holds. I've worked really hard to where I've come so far, and I know this is just the beginning of so much more.
I tell every one of them, I go, keep a journal. I go, and in 30 years, you'll be able to write a book.
With the up-and-coming talent, I'm excited to see them continue to learn, continue to get better, and take over even this job. Somebody's gotta. Who's gonna do it?
One of the things that really impresses me is that they bring me and one of John DeVero, one of our captains, back to talk to every recruit class. And we do it to talk about the history of the department because what they know is what they see today. They have no idea what it took to get there, the battles we had to fight. And I think it's important that they know the history because they have to take it from here and move forward.
Peoria Fire's got a very proud past, but it's going to have a very proud future. I mean, it's going to be here for another 300 years, you know what I mean?
The citizens of Peoria are lucky to have a professional fire department that cares not only about their job, but the citizens that they serve.
I'm as proud of the firefighters today as I am of the firefighters that started here 100 years ago. It's that same sense of camaraderie and can-do. And I think it personifies the fire service. I really do.
Thanks to all the fellows that helped me grow up in this department. Love you guys. We'll see you at breakfast.
Hello, Youth of Peoria.
We are members of the Peoria Youth Advisory Board.
We know you may be struggling, and we are here to help.
Today we're going to talk about drug abuse awareness and share a few tips on how to overcome moments of stress and uncertainty.
As we share tips and suggestions, please note that we are not experts or trained counselors. We just want to help and provide information and resources to our fellow youth.
Drug abuse, also known as substance abuse, is the use of illegal or prescription drugs for other purposes than the ordered use or in excessive amounts.
Drug abuse affects millions of people each year. In the year 2020, 8.5% of Americans reported depending on nicotine in the past 30 days. Many of your peers may even be in the same situation.
As of the year 2023, 50% of all American teenagers reported misusing a drug at least once. Individuals are at most risk for using drugs when in times of change. These changes can include troubles at school, family conflict, and more.
These changes are challenging to deal with and cause immense stress on people. Additionally, children with a family history of substance abuse are at higher risk of abusing substances themselves.
If you feel stressed and find yourself turning towards drugs, do not feel ashamed. You are not alone. We all need help sometimes, and asking for help is a strength and should be applauded.
Here are some tips to manage the stressors that may drive you to consider the use of drugs. Set realistic goals. Goal setting will make you feel accomplished instead of overwhelmed.
Talk to a trusted, caring adult if you are struggling. They can help create a plan to both get you the support you need and help navigate these stressors moving forward.
Avoid your triggers when possible. A trigger is something or someone that affects a person's emotional state and usually causes an extreme feeling of being overwhelmed or encourages drug use.
Surround yourself with goal-driven and positive peer groups. Join a club or volunteer group that encourages and supports each other.
Work with your doctor or therapist to find out what your specific triggers are to get the ultimate amount of help possible.
When you are using drugs, various symptoms occur. Some symptoms of drug abuse include bloodshot eyes, poor skin tone, appearing tired and run down, lack of energy, and poor performance.
Although certain drugs will give you the opposite feeling of these symptoms, you will not be able to escape these symptoms in the long run. It may not seem like a big deal now, but it can greatly affect your future. Many people struggle with this. You are not alone. Please contact a trusted, caring adult to get the help that you need.
One good resource in our city is the Peoria Primary Prevention Coalition, commonly known as 3PC. We can help you get the help that you need. If you need any information about substance abuse, we can always help you and you can turn to us.
If you are ever in doubt, please reach out to someone you trust. You can also turn to organizations created to help young people get support for these struggles.
For more information, visit the organizations on the screen.
Peoria is taking charge of our future while embracing our unique heritage that has helped shape the city for more than 70 years. Your mayor and city council made several promises that align with their strategic priorities of economic development and education, water security, and public safety. Our city's population is expected to grow by 75% over the next 35 years to nearly 350,000 residents. By prioritizing these key areas today, we are laying the foundation for a thriving and resilient city for generations to come. Let's check in on our progress. City Council's vision is to foster economic development that brings quality jobs, retail and restaurant options that drive new revenues to sustain the services you desire most, from public safety to parks and open space, all while keeping your taxes low. This past year, we have made tremendous progress that supports smart growth across Peoria. The city's new innovative partnership with the Arizona State Land Department is a game changer for how our city will develop over the next 20+ years. Recognizing that more than 75% of developable land in Peoria is owned by the state, this unique partnership allows the city to lead the planning efforts for the Peoria Innovation Core, or PIC, which encompasses a 6,700-acre, 10.5 square mile area along the Loop 303 corridor north of Lake Pleasant Parkway to State Route 74. The city will build $140 million in already approved capital improvements in the area, such as roads, water, and sewer, ahead of the state auctioning off the land for development. Upon the sale of the land to developers, the city will be reimbursed up to $500 million, which will be reinvested in additional infrastructure. That's a great return on the initial investment for our residents. It's also important to note that the largest beneficiary of state land sales is K-12 education. This partnership is expected to result in more than $1.5 billion for public schools. The other piece of our growth strategy provided the city the ability to lead the zoning of more than 1,600 acres of state land located within the North Peoria Gateway along the Loop 303 from Happy Valley Road to Lone Mountain Parkway. These agreements ensure that the city will have a say in where new residential, employment, medical, shopping, dining, and open space will locate in our future city limits. Residents tell us all the time, we want more dining and shopping options. This year, we celebrated many grand openings of some signature venues. The $20 million P83 Dining District, located next to the Peoria Sports Complex, is now open. North Italia, Blanco, and Postino's are thriving, with residents hungry for more restaurant choices. And more restaurants are on the way across the city. The Trailhead, a 40-acre mixed-use shopping, dining, and gathering center, kicked off with the grand opening of Safeway last fall. Since then, Einstein Bagels has seen a steady flow of customers, with American-themed Sparrow, Jinya Ramen Bar, and Crust Simply Italian restaurants, and other great service venues coming soon. While naturally we are seeing growth in the newer northern parts of the city emerge, we are also seeing opportunities unfold all over Peoria. Honor Health's 95,000 square foot medical campus at the 101 and Bell Road celebrates its grand opening in April. This facility brings together an extensive offering of outpatient cancer care services under one roof. No longer will Peoria residents have to travel outside the city for this life-saving care. With input from you, we're also shaping a bold new vision for downtown Peoria, the place where our city's roots are planted. We're investing $15 million to revitalize downtown with the addition of Caldwell Country Barbecue and the Jefferson House, bringing new dining experiences and driving economic growth. Nearby, Graystar's Class A industrial development is open for business, and new housing is popping up next door, creating even more future customers. We're also elevating the look and feel of the downtown gateway along Grand Avenue through a grant funding process to assist local businesses with facade and signage improvements, along with plans for a future gateway monument sign to replicate the original water tower that once marked the entry to Peoria. The city is focusing on a safe, walkable downtown by committing funding to explore the construction of a future pedestrian bridge to cross Grand Avenue in this area. Connecting the community to the city's arts and culture scene is also part of the plan. We're preserving our historic schoolhouse with plans to transform it into a vibrant arts and culture center. And we're creating a new community gathering space at Peoria City Hall with the removal of the broken fountain and the construction of a new front yard. The design will feature open areas for community events, making it a more inviting place for all. Construction on that begins this year. Developing a workforce to meet the needs of the future remains a top priority as businesses choose where to go based on the availability of workers that can get the job done. We are pleased to announce WestNext plans to build a Peoria Skilled Education campus to support these needs on city-owned land at 95th and Peoria Avenues. The city envisions this campus to provide career technical education programming in the following industries: welding, medical, electrical, and water wastewater. And expected to open in time for this school year, American Leadership Academy's Vistancia campus will support the K-12 needs of more than 2,000 students. This partnership also includes a shared-use park next to the school. Developing the skills of our children is important to our future. Protecting them as they go to school is paramount. That's why the city has allocated funding for 2 additional school liaison officers, or SLOs, at elementary schools to build positive relationships with our youth and keep schools safe. With the other SLOs and the school resource officers at the local high schools, we remain committed to providing safe places for our children to learn and grow. From safe schools to safe neighborhoods across the city, supporting the needs of our police and fire medical remains a council priority. The aviation unit launched last summer, and since then, this crew has assisted in successfully locating several missing and endangered people in our community, and they are still in their training year. The city's first ever real-time crime center is now operational. Thanks to a $2.6 million state grant and ongoing city resources, our police and fire can now tap into the state-of-the-art technologies from across the city to monitor real-time emergencies, investigations, and crime prevention. Our recent investments in the Glendale Regional Public Safety Training Center, or GRIPSTIC, provide real-time scenarios to ensure crews are prepared to respond to a variety of emergency situations. This training keeps the city safe and ensures our first responders come home safe at the end of the day. 18 new fire medical positions are part of this current budget as we train and prepare for the future fire station in North Vistancia as phase construction starts later this year. We also identified a cost-saving solution to address the pressing needs for police evidence storage and tactical training by purchasing an 81,000 square foot facility at 95th Avenue near the Loop 101. Purchasing an existing warehouse and retrofitting to meet the needs of the police saved the city nearly $18 million. It met the need without requiring new construction. As Peoria grows, the City Council has been vigilant in protecting our water and wastewater resources. It is a delicate balance, and the city's expert staff know very well how to manage new needs along with maintaining existing infrastructure. Here's a few of the most recent achievements. The 7.6-mile reclaimed water pipeline number 1 now supports non-potable water needs at Paloma Park, saving the city money and precious drinking water. The lake and landscaping now use reclaimed water to thrive at 33% of the cost of drinking water. Our turf reduction program, now underway at various city parks, is helping to save millions of gallons of water by removing the turf that is not available for use due to the size or slope. In fact, for every 1 acre of unused turf that is removed, we're saving 1 million gallons of water per year. We are proud to announce that the Joe Max reclamation expansion is complete, increasing capacity to 3 million gallons per day to meet growth needs. And the project to build new wells in the growth area of Peoria continue to move forward. Peoria is graced with stunning natural beauty that has helped create many unique recreational opportunities across the city, including nearly 3,900 acres of mountain parks, river corridors, and desert open space. Future residential development will result in an additional 3,800 acres of donated land coming into the city. To prepare, the city has created the Mountains, Open Space, and River Ecosystems, or MORE. The program is designed to maintain and preserve large land areas in their natural state for recreational, wildlife, and panoramic purposes. The city will also explore partnering with trusts or foundations to help fund ongoing costs. Whether you're hiking with your neighbor or catching a spring training game with a friend at the Peoria Sports Complex, our city offers amazing ways for all of us to stay connected. From October to April, people enjoyed the Second Saturday's music and art events in downtown Peoria. This year, we're celebrating the 49th annual Dolly Sanchez Easter celebration with lots of goodie-filled eggs and trinkets to delight your little ones. And before you know it, we're going to be celebrating our nation's birthday at the 4th of July All-American Festival. dressing up for the Halloween Monster Bash in October, and ushering in the holidays at the Peoria Holiday Festival in December. As you can see, it has been an incredible year for our city. We continue to make strategic investments in public safety to keep our growing population secure. We are committed to maintaining a safe water supply to meet our needs for today and beyond. Education remains a priority as we help develop the leaders of tomorrow with skills that they need to thrive. Our plan to grow economic development will bring new revenues to the city to support the services you depend on, from police and fire to clean parks. By adding more local jobs, we're reducing the commute time for our residents, and we're attracting the best in retail and restaurants for you to enjoy closer to home. And as we grow, we are also preserving precious open space in our growth areas to protect wildlife and our love of outdoor recreation. We have achieved so much, yet in reality, we're only getting started. Together, we are focused on seeing our beloved Peoria reach its true and full potential. Can you see why it was a 12-minute video? That's a lot to pack in. There was a lot done in the last year, and I hope that you can celebrate that, and I hope that you can look forward with anticipation of much more to come. All right, now it's gonna get really fun. You know, like like when you grill someone, you know, someone you like, of course. We're gonna have our own little grill session, and we are going to do it with the mayor. How about that? I'm not doing the grilling. We've got somebody special coming up to do that for us tonight. Our grill master is what we're lovingly calling him. I hope that's okay. Danny Seiden is coming up to the stage here, but I want to tell you a little bit about him. Danny is the president and CEO of the Arizona Chamber of Commerce. He brings more than 16 years of experience in global public affairs and government relations, as well as handling complex legal matters in the private practice, as well as the public sector practice and service. He also served as the deputy chief of staff for former Governor Doug Ducey. That was in 2014 to 2018. He's engaged in many one-on-one conversations with our governor, and tonight he is excited to engage in another conversation with Mayor Beck on the latest developments unfolding in Peoria. Danny Seiden, everyone please welcome him, our grill master of the evening.
Thank you so much for that great introduction. I will tell you right off the bat, I don't get called the grill master anywhere, especially not at home. So it's a special night for me to get to be called that. Although I don't really think this will be a grilling. Big fan of this city. I have to tell you how great it is to be in Peoria. It's a city there's so much to brag about. And you know, as the leader of the state's largest business organization statewide, I love talking about our cities and the great economic development partners they can be. And that's what I love about Peoria. You could just hang an open for business sign on your entire city. It's so good to work with all of you. And the value that you add to our state and our state's economy is immeasurable. And you're outperforming. If I were to talk to you about unemployment rates, I could tell you that Peoria has one of the lowest ones in the state. If I were to talk to you about the growth of average median income for a household, Peoria has one of the highest. You are doing so many things so well. But probably my favorite fact about Peoria is when we do our value offerings of a city, Peoria always has this nice blend that people love it for the opportunities for new jobs and high-paying jobs, but they also like it for retirement opportunities as well. So you have such a special city here, and that's why I'm so excited to bring the mayor up today and get to introduce him. And then, I would say, very politely ask him a few questions about his last couple of years and where we're going from here with Peoria. So with that, if you could indulge me, I'd like to just tell you about your mayor for a quick minute. Jason Beck was elected in 2022 to be mayor of Peoria. He came from a very interesting background. Prior to being mayor, he was in the Marine Corps, and leaving the Marine Corps at age 30, he founded his first business in what was the back of a truck. And he grew that, and along with his wife, Jane, they have become CEO and founder of TYR Tactical, such an important company that keeps our police safe, keeps our military allies safe, all around the globe, made right here in Peoria. And probably the most notable notable thing for the TYR Tactical is they won the most coveted award you can get, and that's Arizona Manufacturer of the Year award given out by the Arizona Chamber. So we're very proud of the mayor, very proud of his company, but he's doing amazing things here at the city too, and we want to get into all of that. I want to hear how he's brought his business mindset to the city, how he has an innovate or die motto that he goes by, and all the good things he's doing for all of you, and just the approach that he brings. He's a true leader. You're lucky to have him. We're lucky to have him in this state. So with that, please join me in welcoming Mayor Jason Beck to the stage.
Thank you.
Okay for me? Yeah.
Grilling.
You're in the hot seat.
I'm in the hot seat.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you again for doing this and submitting yourself to some very tough questions. You've got such a great city here. I saw probably my favorite delegation from any city that I have to work with down at the legislature sitting in the audience right there. So you're well represented here in Peoria. But let's get into a little bit more about why you decided to run for this. You know, you were a business guy, very successful, still are. What made you want to be, you know, in public office, and what made you want to run for mayor? And usually our favorite candidates at the chamber come from the business world, so I'm curious to hear about that journey.
Pretty easy. They're all sitting in the front row. So
those are the 6 children that I should mention in the introduction. If anyone thinks we have a birth rate issue, Mayor Beck is doing his best to combat that for all of you. He and Elon Musk, very differently, are working towards that goal.
Babe, should we tell them about the next one coming, or no? No. The kids are like, no. Riker's like, he's 7. He's like, not at all. It really is about family. For me, it was looking at where their future was going to be. I live in Peoria. Obviously, I go to church in Peoria. This is my home church here at CCV. You know, my business is in Peoria. We've got, you know, over 400 employees in the city of Peoria. My sons go to school in Peoria. I wanted a future for them where they're not driving 300 hours a year. I didn't want them having to leave the city. I wanted them to have a choice to be able to do that. And when we were going down this path, we really started looking at how we were taking care of public safety, what we were driving economic development-wise. You know, we had a mayor previously that did a fantastic job when it came to certain pieces, when it came to building a community. Like, she really did an amazing job with that. And I've complimented her many times on that. And, you know, we had great parks, great trails. Like, that was her passion and her driver. I believe that, like all of us and a lot of politicians, and we've all talked about this, it's a life cycle, just like it is a business. And I think that's how an elected official should look at things. That was that period of time, and now is our time to actually grow jobs so we can actually keep our families here, so they're not driving 300 hours. And it's a big deal.
Well, no, that's a great approach. What we've often found is when business, you know, minded, you know, candidates get involved, they tend to have this good approach of, I don't care what the way you've done it before, we're gonna find a way to yes. We're gonna find a way, and I was watching your 12-minute video, and I have to tell you, go to any other state of the city, you're lucky to squeeze out 2 minutes, and I felt like that could have gone for another half hour of all your accomplishments. But I was looking at some of the accomplishments, I can remember the conversations where you're like, we'll never do that. That'll never happen. You should just build a park or do something else. But you don't seem to take no for an answer. And I wanted to just know, do you think your business, you know, background has really changed how you've approached this?
Well, just to point out the no for an answer, that is how we ended up with 6 kids. Right, guys? My kids are like, stop it.
We're getting to PG-13 right now. Quick disclaimer.
Right. So I really do believe that the business mindset, for me, I live off the trait of innovate or die. I truly do. And the reason why is, in my business, my job is to save a life. My job, I have no second best. I have no second option. My job is to make sure that officer or that military soldier, wherever he is around the world, or she is around the world, comes home. So that thought process and that methodical thought process, how you're doing that. At the same time, when I came into this, I looked at this as the largest missions program. So we're running the largest nonprofit in the state, right? That's how we look at it. Is our job is to drive enough profit to where we take care of city services. How do we actually use what we want for our families and drive that home, and then take that business methodology forward? So some people call me recruiter in chief. My job, I mean, you know, you and Chris Camacho have both said, you know, like I'm very, very aggressive when it comes to creating jobs here in the city of Peoria. because I only have so many breaths on this earth. And my job is to make the biggest impact I can in the shortest amount of time to try to drive that home for our citizens' future. And it comes from the heart. I don't take a paycheck. It's not like I'm trying to make money off this. I donate armor to our police officers. It's not like I'm making money off the city. I make sure I really, really try to stay completely above board on every aspect, so that way people don't look at me and go, well, he's just doing this as a business guy, because we hear that a lot across the whole country. What's in it for them? For me, this has been the number one thing in our heart is how do we actually take care of our future of our city? And then somebody else's cycle down the road will come in and they'll drive it a different way. But right now is really job creation. How do we actually take advantage of the opportunity that we have from TSMC's capability and what Phoenix has brought in and the state has brought in, frankly, including yourself. I know you're in Taiwan a lot. And really look at how we actually create those jobs so our families aren't driving 300 hours a year. We want to rehome these families. I want husbands and fathers to make sure that they're spending time with their kids and making sure that if they're going to spend money, I'd rather them spend money on their family instead of gas driving to a job.
Well, as a father of 3 young children, I really appreciate that mindset. In fact, being here tonight, I've gotten out of coaching my oldest son's flag football practice today, so it's kind of a win-win for me to be here with you and missing this weather. I went back and looked at your campaign. When you started, you really had 3 main topics that you ran on, 3 main issues. And that's why Save City is important. He has to stand in front of all of you and say, this is what I said I was going to do. This is what I said I was going to run on. You tell me, have I done it? And in a couple of years, you're going to stand, before them if you choose to run again, and I'm sure everyone hopes you do, and have to account for that. And this is a nice midway point for that. So tell me about those 3 areas. And if I were to categorize them, as you did, it was public safety, which you're very familiar with in your private life, economic development, which we've already talked a little bit about, but we'll get into the specifics on all of these, and then water security. So 3 interesting things for a mayor to take on.
Yeah, so it was public safety, economic development, and really infrastructure overall. And those were the real 3 categories that we looked at and how we were putting money into those categories. When it comes to public safety, we've added between fire and police, we've added 54 positions over the last 2 years. 54 positions. That's a huge, huge factor. If you ask any patrol officer, ask any officer here, you ask any firefighter here, it is not about them wanting more. It's about them wanting people that actually are going to come in and just do the job. It's not like they're just looking for somebody. They're looking for the right person to do that job. And we've added those positions. And frankly, we needed it. We knew we needed it. And you can literally ask any of them, and they'll tell you the same thing. And we're bringing more on. The other aspect was, how do we actually bring more police officers to our schools? We've added eight what's called SROs or SLOs over this last 2 years. We're going to continue, as long as I'm mayor, we're going to continue to add at least 2 a year to make sure that every single one of our children are protected. I want our teachers to feel safe in their schools. I want our kids to feel safe in their schools. They're our future, and we need to invest in that. So that's it. That was a big factor. Tools and capabilities, and the reason why a lot of people see the new fire trucks and I don't know if you guys, I love the black motorcycles, the new black color schemes. If you notice this, the black and blues, it looks absolutely amazing outside. And so we're adding a lot of vehicles. We obviously added a helicopter. We've added a real-time crime center. Those were grants that I went out and actually got myself.
And I want to dig in a little bit on that. I mean, really, I know there's other mayors in the room. Tell us what those are. We saw a little bit in the videos. We saw a little bit of this crime center, your aviation unit. But what I love, again, as a chamber person, you didn't do that through raising taxes. No. Now, you found a very interesting way to pay for that. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I went out, because I'm familiar with writing grants and writing proposals, and it's usually my wife writing it, and she actually checked my work after this, by the way. I went to the expert. So what I did is I knew that these were the assets that we wanted to get. Real-time crime center is 180 cameras, complete system where we're able to start looking at how we can actually get to and capture criminals faster or look at accidents faster and be able to feed that information to our firefighters that are actually going to scene, feeding to police officers. I'll give you an example. We just launched it last Monday, which was incredible. I got $2.6 million from this on a state grant in our state legislature. Some of those that are here, please raise your hand. All right, these are the key people. All right, You know, these are the key people. Beverly Pingerelli is right here, right?
Yes, they're very important. All three of you. Remember that when you vote this week.
No, they really are. Is David Livingston here as well? There he is. So you know, our Peoria legislators, I literally had conversations with them, and I explained to them these are the pieces that we need for our public safety. So we went out and got money for our real-time crime center. We literally had 7 arrests last week from the real-time crime center. It launched on Monday. So thank you. Right? We will be able to work with our schools to be able to do all those things. Kevin Payne's over here as well. I didn't see you raise your hand. I apologize. Sorry, you were hiding over there. That's easy to do in this. So, and then we got the first helicopter in the West Valley. We were able to get $3.5 million for that, and it's already taken action. It's already saved lives. When we first went down this path, my thought process was, if it saves one life, it's worth it, and I really do believe that. How much is a life worth? I've had somebody go, well, it's only worth this much. No, it's not. Not when it's an officer. I don't know if there's video of it at all, but not if there's an officer that gets to come home because of that. It gets to come home to their family, her family. That to me is the most important thing in the world, is doing the same thing with our firefighters. We've got to, you know, being able to feed that information and be able to look at a scene and go through that process is a big deal. You know, that was a tool that the legislator helped us get, and we wrote a grant to get that. I say we, it was my wife and I that wrote it. So she agrees to that as well, right? And then we were able to get a mobile command center, and then we also got money for a water well as well. And all because of our legislators stepped up to the plate and really made a difference for the citizens of Peoria. And you know, trying to take that step of trying to put towards public safety and water security, which is what you talked about. Yeah. Those are 2 of the big pillars. So first step, we took the parks money, and we put that back on the developers themselves, right? So we looked at how they could actually build that through impact fees, and took that money off the table, and we put literally $500 million, $575 million to be exact, into water security for the city of Peoria. It's the largest investment in Peoria's history. Frankly, it's for our future, and it's the second largest in the state just underneath the city of Phoenix, which we're literally a 10th of the size. So that was a massive deal. But public safety was a big factor. We also spent a lot of money on fire, and we added the firehouse that you saw and some other equipment. And then it was really, how do you drive economic development? Now, I say economic development last because a business, as you know, they want to know that a city is secure. They want to know that you have great water and what water infrastructure you're putting in. Every single company that I speak to, those are the 2 biggest factors. It's not if they have employees around the area, because frankly, people are so used to driving. We're trying to change that. It is, how are you securing the area? How is the population protected? How are you protecting my asset? And then what is the water and infrastructure like? And those are the 2 biggest investments we made. So those are things that we talk about all the time. When it comes to investor confidence, this is a big thing that why you travel the world, frankly, I think, is, you know, a business coming to Arizona, business coming to the city of Peoria, knowing that we have a business-friendly mindset, knowing that we have a business-friendly mayor. A lot of times I'll actually take them to our business. I'll take them to Tier. So they actually understand that I understand the heart that they have for their business and their employees and why. And it's important for them to know that for me, it's about how do we actually drive the economic impact for the city. And that's our future. And that's why they've been so receptive. So.
Well, those are great 3 pillars. We kind of jumped all over them really fast, and I'll probably ask a couple specifics, but I just want to, before we transition from public safety, I believe, you know, all that you've invested in has just recently net a fairly high profile, you know, catch. And it might not be something you want to brag about, but it's impossible for those of us who pay attention to not ask, you know. It is. You know, can you talk a little bit about what we just saw in the news recently?
So we just nabbed somebody off the FBI's most wanted list with the real-time crimes. Again, it launched on Monday. On Thursday, we captured somebody on the FBI most wanted.
Now, for the record, We don't brag about that too much because we don't want you to think they're rolling around Peoria. A lot of folks on the FBI's most wanted list. I think, and I know Mayor Harkey's in the room. That guy came over from Chandler, correct?
Yeah,
He just was
he did.
hanging out in Peoria.
He did.
Caught him. Yeah.
We were actually trying to return him to Chandler. I'm just, you know, no. The importance of that is you know, you look at, we have criminals everywhere in the globe, right? And you don't know where you're going to, you know, capture somebody. You don't know when you're actually going to be able to take somebody down. We had another incident where we had coming north off the 101, a gentleman had a car accident or ran his car. I don't know if he was on drugs or whatever the situation was, and then immediately tried to carjack somebody else. Literally, this was Thursday in South Peoria. Within literally seconds, Real-Time Crime Center snapped on, was able to watch this guy, follow the guy. The helicopter was able to actually follow the guy, and that's how they actually took him down. Now, the importance of this, all these tools, they're tools. They're not toys, they're tools. Our job is to put tools in their toolbox to allow them to be able to do their job and do the most important thing, which is come home to their families at night and protect our citizens. Those are the two biggest things that their job. And so that's why it's important to really understand that. And we're going to continue to do more. You know, so we've got some amazing city employees that are constantly pouring into this. But within 1 week, to see all that happen was like, man, we should have been doing this years ago. And that's where it's at in Peoria right now.
Well, it's good to see that as a priority. Let's move into economic development. And, you know, since I jokingly insulted Chandler, I'll fix that right now. I think you have Mayor Harkey in the city of Chandler here, who's known for really being solid on economic development and really forging a relationship between neighbors and the corporate citizens who move in. So tell us a little bit about some of what you've been doing. We saw it on the video, of course, but, you know, let's talk about what your partnerships with the Arizona State Land Department are. Because I know that was one of those things. Henry Darwin, great. He has so many highly talented staffers at the city. I don't think everyone even realizes because they're all very humble. But people who have been at the highest level of the federal government. You know, you have a city manager who's operated at so many different levels, probably the best government operations person in the entire country. And other governors would tell you that. What Henry Darwin, just to speak on for 1 second, has done is being duplicated all across the country with his management system. So congrats on hiring highly talented people. But he brought that state land department idea from you to us. I remember thinking, like, this is ambitious. So tell us about that.
So the state land deal, when I was running for mayor, you know, we didn't have available land across the city. So we didn't have land to be able to recruit and bring companies to the city of Peoria. And to do that, whenever I started looking at the map, really started focusing on how do we actually go to work with state land, how do we actually go in concert with them, and how do we actually get, and this was one of the most ambitious parts was, one is how do we do all of this land at 8,300 acres, give or take, and I think my original map was like 6,000, and they just kept growing and growing and growing. And then the second thing was how do we get our infrastructure paid back? Which had not been done, contemplated. My very first meeting, is anybody familiar with Goldwater? If you're not, I'm familiar with
all the legislators.
Yeah, all the legislators are. Yeah. My very first meeting was with Goldwater Institute, which they're protecting our citizens' rights, they're protecting our tax dollar, they get into a lot of lawsuits with cities and to protect and make sure that cities are on the right path. So instead of trying to dance around that and go, I've got this great idea, I went to the guys that potentially would sue us, right? And I said, look, here's my plan. This is what I think would work, and this is how we put this together. And they signed off on it. They thought that it was a great strategy. In fact, it's a roadmap now for all cities, all municipalities to actually work with state land to do this. So what we did is we identified this land. We put this together. We had heard multiple times that that municipalities and even developers had a poor relationship with Arizona state land. We in the city of Peoria have found that to be the opposite. Now, for a couple different reasons. One is we have an incredible staff. You know, between Henry and Mike Faust and Kevin Burke and, you know, the guys that are really dealing with the numbers in that aspect. You know, we have a Chris Hawkes. Where's Chris Hawkes at? I see him back there. Chris Hawkes is like the wizard for this stuff. I mean, we have incredible, incredible staff that have really bought into this. Now, I probably didn't give them a chance because I really sold it to everybody. Staff would tell you, first meeting with every single person, we're going to do a state land deal, and this is how we're going to get this done. And what it does is it opens up all 8,300 acres. What it does for us is a couple of different factors. It returns $500 million of infrastructure back to the citizens, back to our wallets, right? Puts it back in our pockets. $500 million, it's never even been contemplated. So first time it's ever been done in the state. It brings 1.5 billion with a B at a minimum. If Jim Rounds is here, he's the one that did the numbers. 1.5 billion to $3 billion for state education. Any piece of land that's sold in the state goes back to state education, educational trust fund, and that's what we're returning back by doing this job. And that is our future. And then off of that, we split the profits, which has never been done again before between a municipality and the state. And they get more money for education, and then we get that for a future auction where we'll acquire land to be able to drive economic development in the future. And that in a nutshell is it. It's those 4 buckets. And you start talking to developers. You start talking to Dave Larcher with Vestar. You start talking to these guys, and they're like, we pulled this off. They all want in. Hospitals. We've got 3 different hospitals we're speaking with for a level 1 trauma center that we want to put off the 303 out in the Vistancia area. It's been talked about and contemplated for years. It's time to get it done. Well, the only way that happens is to actually have the state land deal, and that was why our priority was to really put that first. So.
Well, I hope everyone appreciates how important it was that you met with the Goldwater Institute, because when a city or a state or any of our members try and do something involving state land, we can invoke the gift clause issue, and then we get decades worth of litigation that freezes all economic development. And one bad case came out of Peoria a decade ago. So it's great that you took that approach. It's responsible. It protects the legislature who supports you, so protects us. So thank you for doing that. That's really important. But what is, yeah, that is. Our general counsel at the chamber, Mike Bailey's in the room. He's clapping. I think he led that applause on that because it helps us. What is your end vision for what you see Peoria as in terms of economic development? Some folks would have said this was a bedroom community. It was never meant to be an economic driver. You see something different. You, the council, the support you have. Tell me a little bit more about that. What do you see when you look at Peoria?
So it starts from the beginning where 85% of our citizens leave the city to work somewhere else, right? That we need to rehome people, right? We need to rehome families, and that really does come from that aspect. The second is for us to have such incredible city services, better law enforcement, better overall public safety, more fire assets. We hadn't built a firehouse in 12 years, as an example. To do all these things, you have to treat it like the largest nonprofit in the world. But you have to drive a profit to be able to put back into those coffers to be able to do these things. So to do great things, you've got to be bold, in my opinion. You've got to take this, and you've got to be aggressive, and you've got to move the needle. But you also have to have a heart and really think, what's the basis of doing this? And so I really, what I see is I see our city's future, especially off the 303, in between on Lake Pleasant and north of there, all the way Highway 74. That is our future employment corridor, right? That is where we want jobs. It's where we want, frankly, it's where we want you to tell every single business that you meet with that they should be looking at Peoria to come. And by doing this state land deal, it opens those pieces up to where we can do that now in 100-acre parcels or whatever it is. I foresee jobs being in that area. My goal was to create 15,000 jobs. My goal over the period of time of being able to recruit companies, to be able to bring those jobs here, to be able to have our citizens actually work closer to home, to be able to have a hospital and do those types of things, that you have to have density to do that. And you also have to have daytime employment. Mayor Harkey has great daytime employment in his city, so the ability for him to have hospitals and great restaurants and those types of things, daytime employment makes a difference because we want great restaurants. If you look at everybody's getting ready to have Postino's after this, so we'll try to wrap this up because I know everybody's really came for here for that.
It must be. This is a huge crowd for a city. Now you say it's the
everybody's
Postino's.
like Postino's outside, right? But the reason that Postino's in North Italia is so successful is because of density, the jobs, the daytime employment, all those other pieces. And I want that for our city. I want that for our citizens. I want them to be able to be proud, not only proud of their city about being a better community, I want them to be proud of how we are as a city and looking at everything from public safety to how much money we're putting into water infrastructure to how much money we're looking at from parks and trails and the MORE program that you saw. The trails are absolutely incredible that we have in our city. And then be able to have a home life. People are going to drive to work. They're not all going to work here in the city, but to be able to try to rehome people and actually have them be able to spend time with their families. I know you're a soccer coach as well. I don't know how many sports you coach.
Just two, soccer and flag football.
I've heard about your great coaching skills from soccer already from a few people.
We are champions of that league, so it's important. Forget this stuff. Let's talk about that. No,
I've heard that he walks around with a trophy all the time too. But you know, that aspect of it is important, and it's important for us as lives. And as I said, we only have so much breath on this earth, and I want to do the most for the future of Peoria. And then somebody else's time will come in and make their mark. So.
No, that's great. I have to, feel free to clap anytime you want for your great mayor. I know we're starting to run short on time, but I again, when we talk about economic development, you as a mayor and you have a great council, how do you balance the growth that Peoria is seeing and this economic development that's happening with maintaining the character and the open spaces and what you're doing with historic downtown? Like, give me the wrap up of how you manage that in representing your city.
So it really comes down, and I would say our council will say the same thing. Our staff is Beam-A-Light focused on keeping what makes Peoria great, the main thing, right? The main thing if you look at downtown Peoria, and we talked about this whenever I was running as mayor, how do we change the downtown Peoria? Our city previously had bought land down there, but how do we actually invest in it? So we took people to other cities and looked at those cities, and we've made those investments, and these council members have actually made a huge difference because they've bought in on that, and they've also added value of their ideas to do that. It's not just one person. There's 7 votes to do that. When it comes to economic development, the overall balance of this, that's why we initiated the MORE program. How do we actually make sure that we conserve our open spaces? How do we actually look at our tributaries? How do we look at how our mountain vistas are going to be hiked? That's a huge factor, and it's a huge part of the lifestyle in the Northwest Valley. And we want to keep that. We need to keep that. So we have the right people. I would say that our staff, before anybody claps, even though I'm up here on stage, it's not me, it's our staff. I have a vision. We have incredible council members that pour into that vision and add value to me. But our staff is literally, even though there's other mayors here, I apologize, is second to none in my opinion, because they really care about our future, right? And I think that is, I think because we have so many straightforward conversations of what the art of the possible is, from my business perspective, what's the art of possible of how do we actually improve our stadium to where we start driving revenue the way that we have? Our guys are like all in, right? They have bought in, Beam-A-Light, focus. How do we actually make this happen? And that is Peoria's future. So,
no, that's great. And you know, I have to ask. You brought up water. We talk about water a lot. The East Coast media would have you believe we have no water in Arizona, and we shouldn't exist for that matter. But obviously, myself, Chris Camacho, Sandra Watson, some of the people you've mentioned, we're always dispelling those myths, saying there's solutions for it. You're actually proving that right now. Tell me about what you've done for water security in Peoria.
So making sure that we're adding money for wells, not just drilling wells, but also how are we actually, looking at how we're reclaiming water, how we're actually reutilizing it. I remember my very first meeting with Chris Calcaterra over here, Parks Director. Very first conversation, absolutely, yeah. You want to talk about the guy that makes it all happen for Park? Chris made a comment to me, and he's like, for every acre that we have on a hillside that looks like it's brown, we need to actually change it into rock. I'm like, why would we do that? He's like, because we waste 1 million gallons a year. 1 million gallons a year. So it sounds crazy, but little things like that. We save 40 million gallons by doing the things that we did this last year, while we're taking grass off of hillsides that nobody was using anyway. Those little metrics, DC has their Doge. I'd say that with Henry and Mike Fowles and our guys, that's exactly how we have it in the city. But it's not just giant pieces. They're taking little pieces. They're having real conversations. And water was the #1 topic. Day one, whenever I came in, it was, I talked to a gentleman that still is a consultant for us, Kate Powers, and he made the comment, I'm like, so what do you need? I asked every single person, what is the need that you've asked for, or you want, or you're looking for? And he goes, I need $200 million. And I go, wow, really? And he goes, I need $200 million because we haven't maintained and rebuilt the things that we need to, and we need to make the investment. So we literally got down to brass tacks. We looked at the budget. We broke the entire budget down, and and literally within the first year, we committed to $550 million. This council, $550 million in water infrastructure future. And we have plenty of water, and we've got an entire metric. I remember everybody talks about an acre feet. How many times? Nobody knows what an acre foot is, right? But you know that there's 300,000 gallons, right? So we started simplifying it, trying to get that communication out. And those are the things that matter, and our staff has jumped in wholeheartedly. And we are going to be able to recruit companies, be able to build all the houses we have. We have more water than we can use.
Well, it's fantastic what you're doing with water. I love that you brought up Henry and Mike Faust as well. I have to tell you, they were shrinking government before it was cool. So yeah, again, Peoria is innovating for sure. But I can see our clock, Mayor Beck, and I feel for the pastor, Ashley, who came up here, because usually I'm in the pews back there looking at that clock. Man, you got to wrap this up. The minus symbol means you're going too long. We like to keep our services running quickly. So now I see what that feels like, because I want to keep going. There's a lot of mayors I want to grill. You're not really the one who I like to grill in particular right now, but I'm much more about celebrating you. And that's what this is about. You really got time to wrap us up. This is your time to really take a lap for what you, your staff, the council, all have been able to do for the city of Peoria, and tell us what's next. Give us a preview of, well, that video is going to be 25 minutes long. Next time I get to come and sit in the audience.
I would say that one of the things that we talk about with staff, and one of the things we talk about in council or with council members, is really our future of how we're trying to take care of people. How do we take care of our neighbors? Nobody's a number. How do we look at every aspect of what we're trying to do and the motivations of why we're trying to do it, of how we're trying to take care of our neighbors and do the right thing for the city's future? And I really do believe that is where our heart is. I realize that not every single person's always going to agree with every single thing that we do, and that's okay. It really is. It's how it's supposed to work. But we need to listen to each other. We need to care about each other. And I think that our direction as a city, we have the most opportunity in any city, maybe outside Buckeye. I know Buckeye's here as well, right? There you go. Yeah. And really, we have this opportunity in the West Valley to where we have great cities and great mayors. But for us, we have this opportunity with state land that we just opened up that brings jobs and brings people back home. I mean, that really is my heart. I think you hear that a lot probably tonight. I want people to work closer to home and spend more time with their families. I want them to have that blessing to where they can actually spend and go to a soccer game or coach and do those types of things and not be on the road to do that. And I think that by the way that we're recruiting companies, by the way that we're investing in water infrastructure, by the way that our staff, I mean, you guys are absolutely amazing. The staff is lights out. Our staff really puts it together, really cares about not only the metrics, but cares about people. And that's what's important for this city and what the city's future is. Companies will recruit. We'll bring jobs. We'll do all this other stuff. None of that happens without our amazing staff and literally every single position in here. And I can't thank you all enough. But Missouri just came out of that.
No,
I would like to say one more last thing.
No,
so
please.
I can't do anything without my wife. I can tell you that. Every single thing. We have this amazing work-life relationship. I'm not trying to make you tear up. I'm just saying this, right? But we have this amazing work-life relationship where I have people that will come in our company all the time and go, "How do we work together so well?" And we really do. Like it's crazy. I mean, if we fight, which is very, very rare, it's always my fault. I'm not kidding. It really is. Right? And it's usually because I'm not listening to her for whatever reason. But the things that we do in the city and the things that we are trying to move forward for our families and the things that we're trying to do for job creation and all these other things, we have council meetings. Sometimes they're fantastic. Sometimes they're not so great. I'm not a perfect person by any means, and neither is anybody that's an elected official or council when we do this. And I think people have a fallacy believing that we're some perfect person. We're not. We're going to make mistakes. Our job is to do the best job that we're placed on this earth to do at the moment in time that we're in. And me personally, I wouldn't be able to do that with you or without you. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I'm just going to wrap, but I want to say one thing on behalf of the 1 million+ employees we represent at the Chamber, on behalf of really, all the families that go to work every day. Thank you for being the leader that you are. Thank you for setting the example that you set, for innovating, for giving us tools. You're the reason why people like us do what we do. And you're the reason why companies pick Arizona as leaders like Mayor Beck. So thank you again for having me. Thanks for this opportunity. Get some Postinos.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So hello, I'm Tom Jessing. I'm the supervisor for the Jomax Water Reclamation Facility. I've been a team member of this plant since day one in 2002 when the shovels first hit the ground. And it's been a great experience and I love working here. So the water reclamation facility is actually a sewage treatment plant. We take everything that comes down from the drains from the residents and commercial users, and we treat the water and repurpose the water to water reclamation water for the golf courses, parks, schools, and right-of-ways. The construction is going to give us more capability to take on more flows. So currently our plant is rated for 2.25 million gallons a day. This phase 2B, we're calling it, is going to take us to 3 million gallons a day. And after that, it'll take us to 4 million gallons a day expansion, and the following is a 6 million gallon a day expansion. We'll be able to use the reused water, which saves water and essentially potable water for drinking. As we grow, we also grow in expansion. We got to find a place for customers to take the water. We're going to end up connecting all 3 wastewater treatment plants together with one common reuse pipeline. So we'll be able to recharge the water at a single facility to get credits, or instead of pulling out of the canal when we supplement for water, we can pull from another plant and reuse that water. For more information, visit peoriaaz.gov/water.
Peoria is growing, and with that growth comes a concern about sustainability. The community often asks the question, where will we get our water? Will we have enough water? Well, today I'm with the water department here in the city of Peoria, asking those questions and finding out more about their plan. Well, we're here in North Peoria, where much of the growth is happening. Jenna Norris is with me. Business, residential, it is booming. And everyone's excited about that, but with the growth comes a concern for water. Where are we going to get our water? Will we have enough water? What is the city doing to ensure that?
Planning for Peoria's water future is the utmost priority for the Water Services Department here. And one of the biggest attestments to that commitment is through the designation of assured water supply. So this is a regulatory program that Peoria participates in that ensures that we have renewable supplies that are available, accessible, reliable for at least 100 years, and that we also are planning for growth in these time horizons. So the growth that you're seeing in this area and the growth that you'll continue to likely see in Northern Peoria is certainly planned and accounted for by the Water Services Department.
With that, with the water that we do have, how do you guys manage the supply? What are some of the other things you do besides planning? Because I'm getting planning is a big part of that, and really looking ahead before you say yes to new things coming into the city.
So Peoria really takes an all of the above approach. We have many, many different projects going on that are identified exactly through these planning documents of what we need to invest in infrastructure-wise, supply-wise, to make sure that we're keeping up with these demands. One great example of that is residents have likely seen signs in Northern Peoria and maybe some large purple pipes along the side of the road. That's from expanding our reclaimed infrastructure. So right now we are expanding that reclaimed infrastructure to move reclaimed water that will eventually be able to meet the landscaping demands of a few city parks, one of them being Paloma.
Okay, the word drought comes up, especially in the state we live in. How do you, as the water department, plan for the future with the likelihood that a drought could happen?
Drought is certainly something that impacts our supplies. We're reliant on 2 supplies that are rivers, and so they are fed by snowmelt. And so these years where you see less snowpack, we plan for that in our infrastructure investments and the ways that we're moving water in the city to make sure that we are prepared for shortage.
We appreciate all the time behind the scenes. I think that's what
residents probably need to know. There's so much behind the scenes work that goes into getting to a point like this, what we see behind us.
We're making sure that we're looking far out into the future so that nothing is catching us off guard.
All right, Jenna, thank you so much.
Thank you.
As always, thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for more episodes as we focus on the issues that matter to you. Well, I've taken you inside Blanco to show you around, and today we're headed inside North to taste all the food, drinks, and everything else in between.
Peoria marks the spot for the newest location of North Italia.
Ever since we opened, just a lot of people coming in, trying our food, loving our food.
Executive Chef Adrian says they've stuck to what they know best and what works. Really fresh, incredible Italian food.
We're all about just fresh food, beautiful local food. And then fresh pastas. Gotta have pastas, pizzas. So with us being North Italia, it's mainly focused on the northern region of Italy, and then with the North Italia twist.
Well, Chef, you're gonna put me to work. You're gonna make me work for my bite to eat today. Behind us, we have to just talk about the beautiful kitchen, and it is open for any guest to see what is going on back there.
Absolutely. So I think that's one of the great things about North Italia is that you kind of get a great, fresh Italian dinner. And then you also get to see everything getting made in a kitchen. With the big windows behind us, you kind of get to see the kitchen in action, really focusing and pouring their love and care into the food that you're eating.
One of those made-to-love dishes is their lasagna bianco al forno, and he showed me the labor of love it takes to bring one of these to you.
So we take our semolina egg dough and then layer it with some of our beautiful, rich, creamy bechamel. And then have to have cheese on it. So we put a good amount of cheese in there, and then we're gonna be topping it with our short rib ragu.
This has probably been slow cooked for a while too, right?
Absolutely, yep. Definitely a labor of love that we put a lot of time and effort into.
Oh, and of course more cheese.
Yep,
I mean,
gotta have a little bit on top. So we're gonna just top it with some cheese right here. Is that when?
I mean,
perfect.
You say when.
Awesome.
You're the pro, not me. I'm just an eating pro.
Awesome. And then some of our breadcrumbs here that we make in-house.
Okay.
And then some beautifully freshly chopped herbs right on top.
And
ta-da!
Oh, look what that is.
Yeah, how convenient.
How convenient is right. Okay, while I take a bite, tell me what you have over there.
So over here's our
Another
house
thing.
specialty. It's our house bolognese, served with our pappardelle pasta and our bolognese sauce, garnished with some more cheese, of course, and then some fresh herbs.
Okay, so that's another must is what you're
Yeah, so that.
If you put it there, it's another must.
100%, yep. So
Okay.
definitely two things that you have to try when you come to eat at North.
Oh. It's one portion, right?
Yep.
So, no shame
Yes,
if I eat the whole thing.
absolutely.
Okay, you have to get that. That's like comfort food to the next level.
Yep, perfect for now that it's cooling down a little bit here in
Yeah,
Peoria.
it's gonna turn a sad day happy real fast.
And the glory doesn't stop with that dish. Plenty on the menu to fit whatever craving you're having. And let's not forget about the cocktails. Beautifully crafted to complement everything you eat. And a wine list that's got something for everyone. There is no doubt that you won't fall in love with the space too. It's one of the most sprawling, open, warm and inviting spaces you've ever seen. A long bar to cozy up to, a large open dining room, and a patio to fit the crowd wanting to enjoy our perfect weather.
Well, don't take my word for it. Come in because I'm certain you're gonna leave happy.
Hi, my name's Jeff Anderson. I'm the owner of Kitchen Gourmet Plus, our new store in Peoria, Arizona at Park West. We sell kitchen gadgets and small appliances, and we also sell gifts and unique items. We do carry some high-end knives as well that are made by Wusthof and Zwilling Hinkle. And we sell from basic aprons to aprons with really silly sayings on them. We try as hard as we can to buy as much as we can for our store from small businesses. A lot of the customers that come in say to us that what a cute store and how much they enjoy it and how much they look forward to coming back. I bought the original store 8 years ago in the Arrowhead Town Center, and I had been a banker for 33 years and was ready to do something different. I just looked forward to having my own business, and we'd love to have people come see us at this new location at Park West, which is located at 99th Avenue and Northern.
Welcome to the Rio Vista Recreation Center, a family-friendly facility that encourages the community to participate in activities that promote a healthy lifestyle. Stop by and participate in one of our 3 open gym sports that we rotate throughout the month: basketball, volleyball, pickleball. An open gym calendar is available at the front desk or on our website. Kids aged 2 to 7 years old can visit our Kids Corner for up to 2 hours. The room features arts and crafts, toys, movies, and more. Staff is present with children at all times. Our rock climbing wall features 6 auto belay climbing routes that vary in difficulty. Test out your climbing skills with us. Drop in for a game of racquetball. Members can reserve a week in advance, and we have all the equipment you need. Check out our new renovated high-intensity room that features multiple rowers, a 360-degree multifunctional trainer, air bike, and more. Our fitness floor features various types of cardiovascular equipment, circuit machines, and a free weight area. Visit our indoor track for a walk or a jog. Drop in and participate in one of our group exercise classes. Try out yoga, kickboxing, dance cardio, and more. Pre-registration is required for our Silver Sneakers Classics class. For more information about our facility, stop by our front desk, check out our website, or give us a call. We hope to see you soon.
Peoria is home to many beautiful mountain hiking trails, but what if you were to get hurt on one? How would you get down? Peoria Fire Medical's technical rescue team is specialized to respond to calls like that and many others. Today, I'm talking to Captain Darren Fox about what they do and how they train for these special calls. Captain, people call 911 for lots of different emergencies, meaning your team, TRT, has to be prepared for really anything. What are some of the specialized emergencies that you would respond to as this team?
Well, TRT stands for Technical Rescue Team, and some of the things that we respond on are mountain rescues, which I think everyone is familiar with, rope rescue. We also do confined space. We do trench rescue. We do building collapse, breaching and breaking, and we do helicopter operations.
Well, I imagine with these types of emergencies, there is a higher level of specialized training that goes in place for y'all. And I understand it is constant training. Just to be a part of the team takes a long time.
We definitely have to do a lot of training to keep competent on all those skills. When we send people to school, we have a couple guys that are going to school right now. It's the TRT 200 class. And the 200 stands for 200 hours. They come out of school with a really, really good base knowledge of everything that they need to know in all the different disciplines. And then once we get out into the field, we'll train every single week on something different. As you know, this is a low frequency, high risk situations that we're getting into. And so their competency needs to be extremely high for them to be able to perform their job when an emergency kicks out.
I think that's a reassuring thing for a resident of Peoria to hear, that again, they call 911 on their very worst day, and something that is low frequency, say a mountain rescue or a trench rescue, you are very proficient in that because of this continued education you do. And where we're standing right now, I just want to point out, this is a spot where you can do a lot of that training every week when you send your team here to train.
This is not something that you would normally see in a fire station or even technical rescue stations around the valley. Our team built this so that they could increase their competency on a lot of their rope skills. We can do confined space up here. We can do pretty much all of our rope discipline. We can do lead climbing. We can do some of our swift water stuff here, boat on a high line, and things like that. This is not just for us though. This is a regional asset. As our training has expanded and our competency has increased, we have started to train with other cities as well.
The public safety helicopter is here. I would imagine this would be an added resource for your team in certain situations.
It absolutely is. In the past, we've worked with other cities as an asset for their helicopter. Now we have our own helicopter, and it's going to be extremely useful for us, even in the incipient stages of the program, because we get eyes in the air, and if we have a off-road 962 or a lost hiker, and that helicopter can get us information extremely quickly that wouldn't be available to us previously, and we'll be able to get our people on the ground to those locations much quicker than we could before and get the people out of there a lot quicker. Now, as the helicopter program gets started, the way that it'll work is we'll initially do what's called land and loads, where we have the helicopter outfitted with the ability to put patients inside and transport them to a waiting ambulance where we can get them better resources. As the program grows, we'll be able to do additional things with the helicopter as our crew and pilots and everybody gets trained to the same competencies.
Well, wonderful. Well, Captain, thank you for shedding light on what you all do and how you continue to be there for the community, especially on their very worst days.
No, thank you for having me.
Okay, that was fun. And I have the utmost respect for all of you guys. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for literally showing me the ropes. Thanks for watching.
Have you ever wondered where your water goes after it goes down the drain? Well, today we're talking about how the city recycles and reuses that wastewater. Daniel, we're here at Pioneer Park and we're talking reclaimed water. Kind of fitting because I understand this was one of the very first projects the city did in using reclaimed water.
It is. Pioneer Park Lake is one of the first actual projects that I specifically worked on, but also the city had as far as expanding our reclaimed water network. So we're very proud of this. This lake has been filled with reclaimed water for years now.
What is reclaimed water? I think there are a lot of misnomers attached to it, and some people just don't really understand what it is. So can you explain?
Sure. Reclaimed water is essentially wastewater that comes through our sewage collection system into one of our treatment facilities. We have the Butler Water Reclamation Facility over here, for example. We take that in, we remove all of the nasty stuff from the water, we treat it to a really high level, and then we're able to reuse it for things like landscape irrigation, water features such as this lake, and potentially even other uses like industrial uses. Now, the benefit of using reclaimed water is that it essentially allows you the ability to, if you were to take some of your larger water users off of the reclaimed water system and put them onto the drinking water system, you're preserving those valuable drinking water resources for our future.
Okay, and I understand Peoria is undergoing a expansion with the reclaimed water system. What does that entail and how will that specifically benefit the city?
Yeah, expanding the reclaimed water system allows us to use this reclaimed water for what we call its highest and best use at some key areas of the city. We've got a number of projects in play that are actually expanding the backbone of that reclaimed water system network, which then allows us to add additional users in the future. For example, we just completed a project that allowed us to move water up to Paloma Park and use that water in the lake there instead of drinking water. We've got a number of users currently on the system that includes the Estancia golf courses. We've got this lake, we've got a lot of smaller city parks, we've got some landscape irrigation uses, and we're even using some of the water over at Centennial Plaza to water the turf there at City Hall.
And with this expansion program, are there some other projects looking kind of further ahead that you guys are excited about or working on?
There is. One thing to note about this water, this is our most reliable water source. So you're always going to have wastewater coming in. So no matter what happens with the Colorado River situation or some of the other things, and long-term water supply issues, this water is always going to be reliable. We're always going to have that wastewater coming in. So it's really important for us in our long-term water supply needs. We recently actually completed a reclaimed water project. You may have actually seen some of that construction and pipeline installation going on along Lake Pleasant Parkway in the last couple of years. That project actually brought reclaimed water from our Beardsley Water Reclamation Facility up to an existing reservoir where we were actually able to distribute the water out to the northern parts of Peoria. That, again, including Paloma Park. But it's not just about providing water for Paloma Park specifically. It's, again, about creating that backbone that allows us to move this water around for potential future users, such as the Peoria Innovation Corps or even into the Vistancia area. We've got another project that we're currently in design for that is going to build another large water transmission main that will tie into this first project that we just completed, and then move that water into the Vistancia area so that we can, again, use it for its best uses.
So really, obviously the goal is to benefit the city, the residents, and to help secure water in the long-term use.
Absolutely. Our focus is 100%, at least in my team in the Water Services Department, in ensuring that we have the long-term water resources that we need for this city, and reclaimed water factors heavily into that. And so these projects are very important in ensuring that we have that security and that water security long-term.
Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
As always, thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for more episodes as we focus on the issues that matter to you.
Retro Exchange is a collectible store. So whether you're 5 years old or 100 years old, we want you to come in here and just get passionate about all things popular culture. Whether that's action figures, Japanese anime cartoons, trading cards like Pokemon, Magic, Hot Wheel cars, comic books, video games, we try and cover all those wonderful things from the 70s to today. And that being said, incredible stuff comes in all the time. I think right now we have some very rare G.I. Joes, we have some vintage 1980s Transformers. We get really neat comic books like first appearances of major characters. So all kinds of neat things, and that's what makes it awesome, is it's literally different every day. We try and foster a very fun, comfortable, safe, and inclusive community. We play all variety of trading card games here, from Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Disney Lorcana comes out in a month, we're very excited for that. Warhammer, board games, any kind of open gaming. We have 12 tables that can seat up to 64 people. I think that it is very crucial when it comes to your passion and your hobbies to have people to interact with that care about it as much as you do. We have a couple employees and we have a bunch of volunteers and helpers around here, and they all love something or everything in here as much as hopefully anybody else that visits. We are in Peoria, Arizona. Our major cross streets are 83rd Grand and Peoria. So our website is www.retro-exchange.com. From there are links to all of our e-commerce. It has the calendar for all the card game events, special events we do for Halloween or other holidays. Everything can be found at retro-exchange.com.
How you doing? My name's Colin.
I'm Becca.
And welcome to the Barnyard. We like to think of it as an all-in-one wellness facility. So a lot of other fitness training things out there like bodybuilding gyms, Big Globo gyms, they offer working out, right? Physical fitness, but we wanted to combine, we're big on lifestyle. So when they come in here, they get nutrition consultation. They also get access to 5 different group fitness classes. So there's a bodybuilding one called Old School if you're an old school type guy. There's a HIIT class that's very similar to CrossFit or functional fitness. We have an endurance class, a partner class, and then there's a lunch crunch class. It's about 45 minutes of circuit training.
So we're actually a 24-hour facility. So after classes, if you want to stay, work out a little bit more, we'll always be around if that's something you're interested in.
All the way up.
So we have a lot of really unique pieces of equipment. As you can see, we have our ropes that have knots in them. This is for all levels. Beginners, if you need help climbing the rope. If you are skilled, it would be for legless rope climbs. We have our muscle up rings, if you're familiar with those in the gymnastic community. But what I think is really unique that we have is we have sandbags, we have slam balls, we have medicine balls, we have sleds, which are not on the floor right now. That's an awesome implement for all ages.
One big thing about us too is like recovery. Outside of the gym, we actually have a recovery room there with a cold plunge, compression therapy, red light therapy, and then someone who does come in and do IV.
If you want to check us out online, our website is www.barnyardfit.com. We also have a large Instagram presence as well. Our handle is @thebarnyardphx.
Try us out.
Hi, I'm Brett Schwichtenberg with Big's American Sports Bar in Peoria, Arizona. We started about 22 years ago in Orange County, California, in Fullerton. It's a family-owned business. The food is really, I think, the bread and butter of this whole place because it's big portions. You're probably taking something home. The burgers, appetizers, you know, everything's homemade. It's not frozen. I mean, you get your money's worth here. I get compliments every day, you know, saying how awesome the food is. And just having a great staff, friendly atmosphere, and the big TVs for sports. I like telling everybody to get the tater tots because they're my favorite, but sushi's a good one on here also. A lot of people are surprised by that. The cold beer, you know, we get this tap system in here where it's 29 degrees. We had friends suggest that we get over here, and with the ballpark right next door and everything, an opportunity came up, so we jumped on it. We thought it'd be a great place to have our second location. We opened, I believe it was September 8th. We wanted to open that day because it was opening day of football. We haven't advertised really, it's just been word of mouth. It's been a process, but it's really taken off. The feedback is so positive around here, and the people you get to meet is awesome. Check us out at bigsaz.com or find us on Instagram. We're here, we're waiting, and we'll make it good. Come on down.
Water security is a top priority for our mayor and city council. Peoria just took a step forward to conserving more water. And today I'm talking with Mayor Jason Beck on bringing reclaimed water here to Paloma Park. Mayor Beck, I understand that most parks in the city of Peoria use reclaimed water. And this park, specifically Paloma, since it was built, has been using potable water. Can you explain what the difference is between the two for people that don't know?
It is. So potable water is our drinking water.
Okay.
Right? So we've used, in this park here, we use about approximately 42 million gallons of drinking water a year until today. So the key is well before I became mayor, we had a plan to bring reclaimed water to this area of the city, specifically North Peoria, both in Paloma Park as well as the Vistancia region, and that's what we're working on now. The major difference is being able to have, instead of going and utilizing our existing drinking water that we all use for showers and cooking and drinking and even washing our clothes, the goal is to switch that over and make sure that we're actually using reclaimed water, which is highly treated water at our water treatment facilities, and be able to bring that to be able to take care of our grass and water all of the area to make sure that we have a beautiful park.
So I understand when this was first built, the reason reclaimed water wasn't used was an infrastructure problem.
It was. So right now we have 7.6 miles of purple pipe, it's called purple pipe because it literally is the existing color. And the goal is to be able to switch over from blue pipe, which is our water pipe, to purple pipe, which we'll do today.
Okay, so we're gonna do that today.
We're gonna do that right now.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Well, the water is flowing. We're here where the switch was made, right?
Yep, exactly.
So purple pump has the reclaimed water now coming out.
Yeah, so reclaimed is in the purple pipe. So this is what's coming into our system now, which is 450 gallons a minute, as you can see here. What we were able to do is we're leaving the blue pipe in existence, blue for drinking, essentially, right? And what we're able to do is now we've done this complete switch. The blue pipe stays in place and stays aligned. So if we do need to take the purple pipe down for maintenance or anything else like that, it allows us to be able to go back to drinking water for that maintenance time and then switch back to purple pipe that entire time.
So this is a good thing for water security, which I know is a top focus and priority for y'all.
It is. For us, this changes the way that we're able to do business in the city of Peoria. By being able to utilize reclaimed water, 42 million gallons in a year in this park, being able to save those 42 million gallons and utilize those for homeowners or for businesses, it is the future of Peoria.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, appreciate it.
As always, thank you for watching, and be on the lookout for more episodes as we focus on the issues that matter to you. For the Peoria Police Department, innovation is a top priority. It improves service, it saves money and resources. And today I'm talking with the police chief about some new ways they are meeting the needs of the department as well as Peoria residents. Well, Chief, we are in a massive warehouse that I understand was just purchased by the police department. I know that innovation and a way to do your job better and also cut costs is something very important to what you do, and this is doing just that.
Absolutely.
Can you explain what the purpose of this is and how it will cut costs?
So currently, we had 5 different capital improvement projects through the city for the police department specifically on the books. And all 5 of those amounted to about close to $40 million. What we're able to do is utilize this space that's here already in Peoria. We can accomplish with this space evidence storage. We have vehicle inventory that we're able to maintain all the vehicles that we have within evidence. In addition, part of this is going to have some classroom and a building within the building, if you will, that we're going to be able to utilize for ongoing training. The training will be training that will be utilized by both Peoria Police Department as well as our partners here in the West Valley through our West Valley Academy. Those recruits will be able to come here and train here as well on a regular basis. This was purchased on November 13th for $11 million, with about $7 to $9 million of improvements expected in order to get it to where we need it to be for all of those functions to be accomplished in this one site. So when you look at a projected cost of close to $40 million accomplished at an actual cost of $20 million, you're saving 50%.
Yeah.
And over the course of the next 3-4 years, that $20 million we're saving is probably closer to $23 to $25 million.
Okay. Innovation, again, you just made the point. It cut costs, but it helps you also and your fellow officers be able to do their job better.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of other things coming down the pike, and one of them is a system that you want to explain a little bit more about and how that's helping y'all do your job.
It's really important for me that we as an organization at the Peoria Police Department take every effort to look at how we can be innovative, how we can work smarter, not harder. And Corona Solutions is one of those. Corona Solutions is a software, the company's been around 28 years. And it is a deployment model software that helps us with staffing. How do we know when we should have officers and where they should be is really a science within the science. And this software, at a relatively low cost, enables us to take all of our computer-aided dispatch information from the last 2 years. So that's every call that comes into the center, every contact that an officer makes and radios in. All that information is taken into the software, and they're able to look at it by hour of the day, day of the week, to determine what our needs are, what our call load is, what our staffing should be. But one of the first things I heard when I got here was how we don't have enough officers. And so I said, okay, well, maybe we don't. And if I use the traditional models that have been established 40, 60 years ago, we don't. But I'm not a traditional kind of guy. So we're looking at this from the standpoint of, what if we have officers just at the wrong times and at the wrong places? So this software has demonstrated to us, and we just finished the project this morning, effective February, our schedule, February 25, is changed pretty significantly from what we've been accustomed to. But we have officers where we're going to need them, when we need them, hour of the day, day of the week, and we're going to have more coverage than what we've had experience before.
Sounds like the accuracy of something
Absolutely.
like that will not only help bring peace of mind to people in their neighborhood,
right,
to know that they're being watched and that they know that there is somebody there when they need them. Lastly, give me an update on the helicopter. It's here, it's running training missions right now. I know that the point of that too was to be an added resource for all public safety, you all and fire, and a cost-cutting measure as well. And also just, again, an added benefit. So again, explain to me what the goal of that is once it does start being utilized for its intended purposes.
The air unit is a force multiplier, right? When we talk about staffing, if we have tools, if we have software, we have the air unit that can help us present as if we are 20 instead of 10 on a given situation, make us that much more impactful and much more efficient in what we're doing. It's a win-win.
The added layer continues to make the city safer.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for all the updates, everything you're doing. We appreciate it.
Appreciate your time.
As always, thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for more episodes as we focus on the issues that matter to you.
My name is Matt, Captain Matt out here at Lake Pleasant Cruises. I'm the captain as well as the operations manager. We are the only cruise boat out here on the lake, and it's a beautiful lake. We really like to get people out here. We're up on the top deck here, so we've got a lot of seating up here, and we can fit about 70 or 80 people downstairs as well. They also serve the food up downstairs. We've got a full bar downstairs as well, so if you want drinks, you can have access to any of that stuff. So tonight we got a really nice dinner cruise going out. We got a perfect night for it. We're gonna have some food catered on board by Fat Freddy's. Our Island Flavors dinner menu. So they've got a Bahama Mama sirloin, which is a marinated sirloin. They've also got a huli huli chicken. It's kind of like a teriyaki chicken. We've got some rice and some other sides with it as well. So cruise around, watch the sunset, eat some good food, enjoy the nice weather out here. I've been the captain here for about 6 years. So started out as a deckhand and got my experience and got my captain's license. It's a lot of fun. You know, I get to drive a boat around the lake every day. Not really too bad of a job. It's a pretty unique place, get to see the desert from the water. It's pretty special to have this lake be this close to Peoria. You know, it's not too many places you can go where you got a nice big lake like this right in the middle of the desert. We do our best to offer a really good experience. We get really good feedback from customers. They really like coming out here. We get a lot of repeat business. We get a lot of people that'll bring some family and their friends with them. And I get to meet a lot of really nice people. Really all around a great experience. LakePleasantCruises.com is our website, and you can find all our information about our different cruises on the website. You can also call our office if you have any questions. So come on out here, see us at Lake Pleasant. This is a perfect time of year to get out here. The weather's amazing. We got a lot of cruises scheduled for the next couple months. This is really the best time of year to come out here.
Welcome to Wild Pine Coffee Co. We're located at 99th and Beardsley. I really just wanted to create a place that everybody can really vibe with and just something unique, something that is Pacific Northwest because I'm from Oregon. So I kind of really just wanted to bring together both vibes, the Oregon coast and the Phoenix, natives. So I just wanted to create a space that everybody kind of felt comfortable, a little bit quirky, a little bit more unique and fun. So we specialize in lattes. I kind of wanted to make it a little bit more coffee forward because I feel like I'm very passionate about coffee. I would always go to a place and say, can I get 2 extra shots, half sweet, oat milk, almond milk, all these extra things that I just kind of wanted to take out of that. So we offer a little bit more of a balance between the actual espresso bean and the flavor. My favorite drink, it kind of rotates. I am definitely a coffee girl, so I love the ube latte. It's very unique and different. It's a purple yam, kind of like a nutty vanilla flavor. We do little bites, like we have bagels and cream cheese, breakfast sandwiches. I do offer gluten-free bagels as well for all the gluten-free people out there. Again, I'm also a gluten-free person, so I really kind of wanted to have that option. All of our sandwiches can be made gluten-free. So we are on Instagram, TikTok, and then we have our website as well, wildpinecoffeeco.com, and that's kind of what we have right now. Honestly, just come in, check us out. Just come check out the vibe. I mean, we're very friendly. We want you to come and experience just a great place that offers really good coffee. We care about you, and we want you to experience something really great.
Fire engines, ladder trucks, and ambulances, all things that you see at a fire station. I'm at Station 192 today, and we're talking about a new resource that was just put into service that is improving customer service and response times. I've got Assistant Chief Brian Leathers here with me today, and we're talking about this new piece of equipment. MR192 just recently put into service, and it's a welcome addition for you all with Peoria Fire Medical.
That's correct. This is going to help us a great deal with our call volume. For those that don't know, the last calendar year we had approximately 28,000 calls for service, and 24,000 of those were EMS medical related. So we need help getting to all the huge number of medical related incidents.
So a lot of medical calls, which means that putting something like this in service would help to lower response times. That's one of the goals, correct?
Absolutely.
Creating better customer service when the public calls at a time of need. Who is staffing this truck? Who's on this truck?
Well, this truck here, as you see, it looks like a pickup truck because it is designed on the frame of a pickup truck, and there's a reason for that. But this is staffed exactly like any of our responding vehicles, whether that's a fire engine, a ladder truck. It's staffed with the exact same emergency medical equipment that you'd find on an engine is on this truck, as well as the personnel. It's staffed with 4 personnel. We have a captain, an engineer, and 2 firefighters. On them, they will always be staffed with a minimum of 2 paramedics, ALS, advanced life support, and 2 EMTs at all times. So it's staffed exactly like a fire engine or a ladder truck. The only difference is it's way more affordable to put into service. So as you can imagine, a fire engine is extremely expensive. And this truck is way cheaper to purchase, way cheaper to maintain, and it costs way less to run. So we can get out there and handle all those medical calls at a far cheaper price for the citizens and the taxpayers.
And get to them faster,
Exactly.
Which is somebody that calls 911, that's what they want. They want to know that somebody's going to be there on their worst day in record time.
Exactly, and not only response times, because it will decrease response times, but it also increases our reliability. And what that means, if our fire engine that's normally stationed here is already out on a call, they can't respond to another call. So now we've doubled our efforts. It increases our reliability.
I understand, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but you look at data continually. So when you put something like this into service, you're going to monitor it over the next year and see what it's helping with and see other areas in town that maybe could use an added resource like this. This is what helps you foresee what is needed for the department.
That is absolutely correct. We keep data all the time on all of our fire stations, all of our areas of response, all of our engines. And if we see, like here at Station 192, we were getting beat up with a high call volume. So we put this in service as a 40-hour response, and we'll keep data on that. And if we see the need, this can easily transition into a 24-hour truck. and help us, around the clock.
Well, thank you so much, and congrats on that.
Thank you.
And good news for the residents in Peoria.
Very good news. Thank you.
As always, thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for more episodes as we focus on the issues that matter to you.
Peoria is excited to announce WeRide, a new and affordable on-demand rideshare service. WeRide is a by-appointment service that picks you up at designated locations and takes you to popular destinations around Peoria. The best part? Each ride is only $2 for adults and $1 for children over 13, seniors over 60, veterans, and people with disabilities. Children under 12 ride free. Ready to ride? Here's how. Download the WeRide app, visit the website, or call the number 623-777-4330. If you are using the app or website, simply select your pickup and drop-off locations from the map. Neighborhood stops can typically be found at gathering points like your neighborhood mailbox, community centers, or other locations just a short walk from your home. That's it! Just show up 5 minutes before your scheduled ride time and you're on your way. You can pay through the app or pay your driver with cash or card. Exact change is required. WeRide vehicles are ADA friendly and seat 4 to 8 passengers. WeRide is currently available in a limited area during a 1-year pilot period. Learn more at WeRideAZ.com or download the WeRide app.
Handel's homemade ice cream has been around since 1945. We make all of our ice cream fresh daily. We carry 48 flavors.
I think it's the best ice cream on the planet, and you can't beat it. It's just our product is very high quality that we use to make the ice cream, and it just tastes delicious. Just our simple vanilla, actually, it's really good. Like mint chocolate chip, strawberry. Our strawberry is pretty amazing just because we make it with real strawberries.
I really liked this particular location because of the splash pad. It worked out really well to do a walk-up location where everybody orders their ice cream outside. We pass it through the window. We're looking forward to serving the community of Peoria and the patrons of the Park West Shopping Center. We welcome you to come try our ice cream. You won't be disappointed.
Hello, my name is Marilyn Burns. I'm the owner of Marilyn's Academy of Dance, and we have been in business for 49 years. We teach ages 3 on up through adults, and we've seen kids, even kids with disabilities, come in and learn to dance. We're at 7420 West Cactus on the northeast corner. We are very family oriented, and our dancers are welcoming to new families, new dancers coming in. In the studio right now, we probably have 15 girls whose parents grew up dancing here at the studio. We teach ballet, jazz, tap, hip hop, tumbling, contemporary dance, point, and lyrical. We are mad about dance, and we just want to share the love of dance with everyone.
So hello, my name is Michael Wakeford. I'm a MAD Unified instructor here at Maryland's Academy of Dance on 75th and Cactus. So we wanted to create programming that brings people with and without disabilities together. We started with just adults, and about 2 years into it, we brought the kids in, ultimately creating a community that can connect and stay connected, I think, is the biggest part. With the opportunities that Maryland's Academy of Dance provides us, and having her as an advocate and her being willing to invite us into her studio and do this kind of thing is amazing and something that we are very appreciative of.
Hi, I'm Tim, the owner of Atomic Guitar Works in Peoria, Arizona. Been open since 2007. The place was started with me and my friend Harry Howard. He's since retired last year. Typically what I do here is guitar repair, setups, modifications, all types of instruments. And we're actually a restoration shop too. We have the ability to source lots of things for musical instruments, and I also have ways of helping the customer find the parts they need as well. But I also get customers from all over the state and even from out of state because of my abilities to do things that other shops can't do. To get a hold of us, you can call us at our shop. You can also look us up online at atomicguitarworks.com, and we can talk to you about what you need or discuss the problems you're having or not having with your guitar.
Ever wonder where your water comes from? Peoria has a diverse, reliable water supply that comes from several sources. Roughly 42% of our water comes from the Central Arizona Project. This water travels from its source, the Colorado River, through the 336-mile-long Central Arizona Project Canal. About 30% of our water comes from the Salt River Project. SRP water comes from rain and snowmelt in the mountains north and east of the valley. The water is then funneled through the Salt and Verde rivers, where a series of 7 dams capture and store this water for use. Another 25% of our water supply comes from well pumping. We try to use as little groundwater as possible, and we recharge these wells by pumping back in excess CAP and SRP water, as well as reclaimed water. Finally, about 4% of our water comes from reclaimed water. Reclaimed water is wastewater that's treated in a water reclamation facility until it meets the A+ water quality criteria established by the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality. This reclaimed wastewater is then carried through our purple pipe system to be used for golf courses, parks, city lakes, landscaping, and industry, saving millions of gallons of drinking water annually. Peoria's diverse and reliable water supply helps ensure that future generations will thrive in our desert environment.
Well, the wait is over, friends. North and Blanco at P83 are open, and today I'm taking you inside for a little taste of what they're doing at Blanco.
One step inside and you'll see it was worth the wait. From the wraparound patio to the gorgeous interior, it's absolutely going to become one of your fave spots in the city.
How has Peoria been since you guys opened up?
Amazing, very excited. We've been very busy and bustling. Rave reviews. Everyone's been anticipating it. Like you said, it's here and we're excited.
This one makes number 11 for Blanco, 5 in Arizona alone. The menu has been bringing in the people since the beginning with their fresh take on Mexican food. Classics done their way with a twist.
Okay, I made my way back in the kitchen, and if you're sitting inside the restaurant, you can actually see inside, but I got the best seat in the house. I'm gonna show you how they make their carne asada tacos. Okay, well, I'm not gonna do it. The pros are gonna do it, but I hear they're spectacular. Everybody orders them. Allie, you said the carne asada tacos are the thing that I have to get. Carlos is gonna prep them and put them all together.
The carne asada is grilled on the flat top with their house mix of onions and cilantro. While that finishes, Carlos warms the homemade corn tortillas.
We're gonna put our house-made guacamole And then we'll add our carne asada on top here.
Lastly, it gets a dusting of cotija cheese, fresh cilantro, rice and beans to finish the plate.
Well, it's not a visit to the kitchen without me getting in there to take a bite, right?
Perfect.
Okay.
We'll let you try it.
Oh.
Thanks, Carlos.
Okay. Thank you, Carlos. Don't go too far. I think I'm going to need a high five after. Okay, let's do this. Okay. There's never a good way to eat a taco or anything on camera, but here goes nothing. Mmm. The garlic butter. Oh my gosh. So good. Get the carne asada tacos.
And you cannot leave without a craft cocktail or signature margarita. I mean, is there a more beautiful bar to sip one at? Outside in, it's the place to be during our patio season. Cole, Blanco's bar manager, showed me how to make a menu favorite.
Okay.
This one has been around for a while. This one continues to be one of our house favorites.
What's it called?
This is the smashed strawberry and mandarin.
I like the sound of it.
This one starts with house sour mix, a blend of lemon and lime juice and a bit of sugar and a little coconut water. Next, a fresh mix of strawberry and mandarin juice made daily, a bit of triple sec and tequila, of course, and ice.
This one comes with a little lime on top and a couple fresh strawberries to finish it off.
That's gorgeous.
You'll want to sip and taste just about everything and linger a little while too. Blanco at P83 is open and ready for you.
Hi, I'm Carly and this is the Cabin Whiskey and Grill. So Cabin's just a fun place here in Peoria. We definitely like to pride ourselves on a great place to watch some sports. We have plenty of TV screens, and then we show some UFC fights as well here too. We also have some good comfort food while you're here watching it too. So some burgers, we have our 2 hands Tuesdays, so all of our burgers are massive. You need 2 hands to hold them. Having some fresh beer on tap and specialty cocktails too. Obviously our name is Cabin Whiskey and Grill, so we have plenty of whiskey selections. I would say probably close to 100 behind the bar. Anything from a Pappy Van Winkle to a little bit of the lighter things too if you're newer into whiskey. You can come here, try some whiskeys too to pair with your meals or just have a pour to sip on. So we pretty much have a special every single day of the week. We have brunch on Saturdays and Sundays too, almost forgot, with our almost bottomless mimosas. So you can pretty much drink until brunch is done for 25-cent refills. Fridays and Saturdays, we do have live music from 5 to 8 p.m. We invite family, friends, just to have a good time, a lively atmosphere while you eat some good food and drink some delicious drinks. So you can find us at cabinwest.com or at the Cabin Whiskey and Grill on Facebook and Instagram. Come join us on 99th and Northern at Park West.
So stretching is obviously one of those great things for the body that we can use to gain longevity in the body, prevent injuries, be able to perform better, and just move overall better. We are the leaders in stretching. It's a short version of PNF stretching. It's a method we use to help our members move better. Here at Stretch Lab, we service from the young athletes all the way up to older individuals. We assess their movement, find out where their deficits are. So we have them do a 3 overhead squat assessment, and then we're able to look at their mobility, their activation throughout the muscle, posture, and then symmetry, how the body is balanced out from one side to the other. And then from there, we can utilize all those 4 categories to approach the stretch overall for the program. It's a great place to come and have a great time. We have a good time here, and we take care of our members as if they're our family members. So we offer a half-hour session and full-hour session. You guys can all find us over at stretchlab.com. We're located in the Park West Shopping Center on 101 and Northern. Come on down and check us out. We got a great team of flexes waiting for you.
Today's our grand opening of Park West, and we are so excited. My name's Louis Pizzell, and I'm the founder of the Wildflower, and we're a local family-owned business that started here in Arizona in 1996, and we currently have 16 locations with Park West. Here you are, beautiful Park West. We're now open. We'll be open 8 to 8, 7 days a week. Peoria is a great place for business. It's a growing community. And this shopping center that we're in, Park West, is going through a revitalization. And it's always good to be a part of something that's being revitalized. And we're just grateful that we've got the opportunity to serve the community of Peoria. We welcome all the folks that live in Peoria and the surrounding communities. And we're really excited about having a restaurant here. If you don't know much about the Wildflower, we serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you can get pancakes and eggs. We have an incredible new product, a gluten-free pancake, which is you would never know is gluten-free. We got some Millionaire's bacon with a little brown sugar and a little honey on top of it. We have lunch, and we sell soup, salads, and sandwiches. Did you know that at the Wildflower, every loaf of bread that we make takes 3 days to make, from the time we feed the starter till the time it's mixed into the dough, till the time it ferments to get that hard crust and that wonderful flavor. And then we move on to dinner. And at dinner at 3 o'clock, we start selling some of our pastas. And we have some phenomenal pastas. 3 cheese ravioli, simple with some marinara sauce, world famous meatballs, and of course, what's pasta without garlic bread? So you can order online, you can order through the app, you can pick it up, you can come curbside, you can order through delivery, and you can come to the restaurant. But we're waiting for the city of Peoria and all the folks in the surrounding communities to come visit us at the Wildflower. We're located at Park West, right on the corner. You can't miss us, and we look forward to serving you great food and awesome hospitality. I've never done it before, but I did a good job.
What will the city of Peoria look like in 2040? Well, it's not something you or I think about every day, but the city planning department does. And the general plan is a long-term document that reflects the vision of what the city will look like in years to come. And today, we're learning more about that. Chris Hawkes, the planning director with the city of Peoria, thank you for joining me and taking the time to kind of dive into this topic that a lot of people have questions about, and you have some answers for them. Let's talk about a general plan, the general plan. For those that don't understand what that is or know what that is, can you explain it?
Yes, well, good morning, and thanks for having me here. A general plan, essentially, when you boil it down, it's the roadmap to the future. Every city in Arizona has one, and they have to take it to the voters every 10 years. So what the general plan really does is it gives us high-level guidance on a variety of topics, things like land use and housing and transportation, open space. And so as we make next level decisions on matters, this provides the policy direction for us.
Now, I understand the City Council recently approved some amendments to the general plan, and a lot of those updates have to do with state land and what you all call smart growth. I know this is a complicated topic, and there's a lot that goes into it. How can you help residents and those listening right now understand this a little bit more?
State land was granted to before statehood was granted to the state by the U.S. government, and it was granted for the purposes of holding land and selling it someday to optimize its value, and there's underlying beneficiaries. The largest beneficiary happens to be common schools, and they represent 88% of all of the state land throughout Arizona. It's one way in which we fund education in the state.
I understand that the process of updating the general plan and making some of these amendments, some of the residents were asking about keeping state land as open space. Is that even something that can be done?
So that's one of the misconceptions that I often see in the community. State land is not open space like preserved land. In fact, state land's mission again is to hold land, and when a property when it has its optimum value, at some point they will auction that land off for development. So we should look at state land as land that someday will be developed. Now, having said that, let me say this. We have a number of ordinances on the books that are designed to protect open space. We have ordinances that protect wash corridors and hillsides and critical areas and cultural areas. All those remain in place regardless of who comes forward asking for development.
Okay, very good to know. Economic development, it is important to any future of any city. I know it's very important to the city of Peoria. How do general plan updates help plan for the future economic development and growth in the city of Peoria?
Yeah, so the important thing about state land is when we look at our vacant land in the city of Peoria, effectively 75% of that land is held within the state trust land, and a lot of that land is along the very important Loop 303 corridor. So as we go forward, we know that our future is intertwined with state land. And it's important that we're thoughtful and careful about how lands are designated and developed into the future. We want to make sure that we have a community where people can live, work, and play, have access to jobs, have access to commercial facilities in the community. And it's important that we look forward and we work together with state land now before that development happens.
And I know the goal is also to work with the community, with residents, and to really keep transparency at the utmost important. And I know that the city council and mayor have overly said transparency, transparency. Residents want transparency. Where can people dive a little deeper to really understand and gain more transparency?
Thank you for that question, because the citizen input process is always one of the most important pieces of any consideration of a policy direction. So we have one of the most robust engagement processes in the state. And so during the general plan process, we had over 9 public meetings, and we had a chance for people to talk to planners in the community and the representatives about the changes. All of the general plan amendments are online at the city's website at www.peoriaz.gov. And if you go to the planning and zoning portion of the website, that's where you'll find all that information.
Okay, well, Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate your time.
You bet.
As always, thank you for watching, and be on the lookout for more episodes as we focus on the issues that matter to you.
Hi, I'm Kavita Kumar, and I am the owner of this location of Thai Chili To Go. So Thai Chili To Go is a scratch kitchen, so everything that you order is made, on the spot right then. So we have curries, rice, noodles. Some people like rice-based dishes, some people like gluten-free. But if you like chow mein, you like rice-based items, our fried rice is amazing. The pad thai is actually a top seller, so that's something I highly recommend. You can just totally walk in and say, I want no spice or mild. And it will not be spicy, but if you choose to have spicy food, we do mild, medium, hot, and Thai hot. So we have 4 levels of spice. I have been adventurous a few times and done Thai hot, but I usually settle for a medium. So today we had our ribbon cutting, which is super exciting. We opened doors on the 18th of December last year after a long year of getting this location up and running. But everything's great today. The community has responded well beyond our expectations. I want to thank everyone who's come in and the repeat customers. Just affirm that our product is just amazing. A lot of people walk in, give us good reviews. The feedback is good. For not knowing what to expect, I think we're doing really well. We have great staff who really carry our business. Our managers are 5-star. We have walks in the back. It's a highly skilled piece to work. I can't do it, I'll be honest, but we have amazing staff who do the cooking. My favorite dish is the drunken noodles with chicken. Everything's pretty amazing. We have all the curries. Just give it a shot. You know, every time you come in, order something different. Just come in, you know, support us, and we will serve you well.
Have you ever wondered how your water gets from here to here? Join us for a virtual tour of the Greenway Water Treatment Plant to learn more about how Peoria delivers fresh, clean water right to your tap. Water processed at the Greenway Water Treatment Plant comes from the mountains north and east of the valley through SRP's Arizona Canal. Water is pumped in from the canal and mixed with a coagulant, which makes the sediments in the water clump up and sink to the bottom to be removed. After the sediment is removed, the water is filtered through fine sand and activated charcoal to remove fine impurities. Next, the water gets mixed with chlorine to remove any contaminants and keep the water clean and fresh. The Greenway Water Treatment Plant is staffed 24 hours a day. Highly trained operators use state-of-the-art computer systems to monitor every step of the process. In addition, the plant has a laboratory where water is continually tested by lab technicians who monitor and test water quality. Finally, 5 million gallons of treated water is stored and ready for delivery to make sure when you turn on the tap, you will always have clean water. Learn more about Peoria's water services by visiting www.peoriaaz.gov/water.
Salad rolls is the new innovative way to eat a salad, where you come in and you make it the way you want, how you want it, as much as you want. I got tired of going places and add this or can I take out that? You just walk down the line telling you how you like it and watch them build it right in front of you. We have up to 60 plus fresh ingredients you can choose from, unlimited toppings for one set price. We have a regular and a large salad, and on Tuesdays we have 2 for $22, which includes protein. We have chicken breast, steak, and ham. And we also have tofu and plant-based chicken. Our lettuce is a hydroponically grown lettuce where they grow it inside. There's no pesticides, none of that stuff in there, and it's really got a great flavor. We have 4 choice salads. If you don't want to do a build your own, you can pick from one of those, and one of them is a farm fresh fruit salad, which has strawberries and apples, and it comes with a great raspberry vinaigrette that's really good that you won't find anywhere else. And we also make our own Chipotle ranch, and the ranch is really good. This is kind of a mission for me that I can help people eat better. The statement says it right there. It says, eat well, be healthy, live better. That's kind of our motto. You know, I've had some health problems in the past and I just want to help people eat better, even if it's once a week or twice a week. We even put calories on all the magnets that say all our ingredients. It gives you the calorie count so you can calorie count as you're ordering your salad. That's real important to me as well. So we just had our soft opening on December 19th. and we were pretty busy, a lot more busy than anticipated, and which is a great thing. We're very happy about that, and we're actually having a ribbon cutting with the Chamber of Commerce on January 3rd, and we're going to have a buy one get one with the purchase of 2 drinks, and it's just going to be awesome. You can go to saladworldaz.com and you can find our menu. If you know anybody looking for a job, you can join our team. You can order online. You got to come to Salad World and check us out.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Lucido, and I am the owner of Rock Rescue Ranch. We are a nonprofit that take in horses, cats, and dogs. We started a couple years ago just being an outlet for people to rehome, retire, or rehabilitate animals. Right now we do have 2 kittens, 2 like 6-month-old cats. Dogs come and go. Thank goodness we're able to find them homes pretty quickly.
It makes me really happy when there's a new animal and we have to save it and rehabilitate it, and I like helping the animals out and making sure they're happy and healthy before they go off to their new home.
My daughter is amazing, and she has a way with the animals. She's so responsible and takes care of them. And when I presented this to her a few years ago that, hey, I want to start an animal rescue, she was all for it.
I work with the horses, so I will exercise them, and if some of them are rideable, I will ride them around. Sometimes I'll muck, or sometimes I'll brush them down. I wash dogs, and I don't know if I can pick a favorite. I love them all equally because of their personality.
We have 2 minis here. We've had about 6 minis come through the ranch over the last year or so. These 2 have stuck. We believe Miss Sky here is pregnant, and with her baby, we actually want to train it to be a therapy horse, that we can take it into the children's hospitals or old folks' homes. We will take in military animals on temporary housing if they have to go, if military gets called on duty. We will take care of their animals for 6 months, a year, whatever it might be. We also work with a lot of abused women and children's shelters here in the valley. The numbers are staggering. About 65% of people won't leave an abusive situation because they're worried about their animal. And so we are an outlet for them as well, that we'll take their animal, let them get safe. When they get back up on their feet or they get in a better situation, we'll give them their animal back.
We got a phone call about 9 o'clock at night 2 years ago, and this family found 17 kittens in a suitcase in a dumpster. So we split it up between 4 families, so we took 5 in, and we rehomed 3 of them, and there's still 2 roaming around the property here today.
A lot of the horses we get are in situations that they're not rideable. So it's more looking for people who can take a pasture pet or take in a companion horse, which is really hard right now with inflation. So we're seeing a lot of the animals stay with us longer, which we're blessed to be able to facilitate that. But we take volunteers to help us with the animals, mostly the horses, and donations all the time. We have Venmo, PayPal. We are 501, so it is tax deductible. We are on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, @Rock Rescue. You can email us, rockrescueranch@gmail.com. We kind of try to just help out, and especially here in this community, that's what we try to do with the animals and people.
My name is Gigi. I am a sales lead here at Rolling Rack Boutique. So Rolling Rack Boutique is a woman-owned, woman-operated small business. We started off in a mobile unit traveling through the West Coast. Susie Diamond, our CEO, quickly got her popularity. We now are here at our second active location, which is Park West, located in Peoria, Arizona. We're growing, we're thriving. This brand is about women being unapologetic, being bold, pursuing what they want, when they want, how they want. Susie Diamond was heavily bullied as a child, and that just pushed her into becoming this entrepreneur who is unstoppable. She just got 2021 Phoenix Entrepreneur. She was featured in E! News, in the Arizona Family. So products are very unapologetic, is what I tell my customers. We just like to look at the women's side as how we are, right? So apparently I'm dramatic is one of her sweatshirts. She has different graphic tees out here that just speak about day-to-day stuff that nobody really wants to talk about. But because we are women and we are unapologetic and bold and out there, we like to just bring it out. We have been welcomed with open arms. I have awesome customers. Everybody that walks in through the door here with me is VIP. We want our customers to walk in here and feel empowered, feel beautiful. I am super passionate about it. My first job was sales, and that was where my passion lied for a long time. But coming here, wanting to grow with this company has become my passion quickly. Susie shows you that nothing is unreachable. You can reach whatever you strive for as long as you set that goal out there and use the negative talk out there to empower yourself. Please follow us at Shop Rolling Rack Boutique on Instagram. She shows you new inventory that comes out. She does promotions and tells you about discounts and does raffles on there. And she's just unstoppable. And this brand is unstoppable.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Robinson and welcome to our new weekly video series, Peoria Focus. Each week, we are going to focus on one of 3 priorities set by your mayor and your city council: public safety, water security, and economic development. Now recently, city council approved a historic new budget. And today, I'm going inside City Council chambers to meet with City Manager Henry Darwin to see what went into making that historic budget. Congratulations, I think, are in order. $950 million budget that was just adopted. That's a big number. And I imagine that was a process to get to that point. Can you tell me a little bit about what went into that?
Yeah, certainly. So our council has set the priorities for the city, and it becomes my job with the help of many individuals within the city to develop a budget that reflects their priorities. And of course, their priorities are water security, economic development, and public safety. So we've put that budget together, keeping those things in mind. And I'm a firm believer that you execute on what's important to the city by focusing on the budget, the policy that comes from our council, and the operations to get us there.
Well, you mentioned public safety. I know that is a big concern with the council as well as the residents within this city. What in the budget is being used to enhance public safety?
Absolutely. So we have scheduled to hire 14 new police officers, 2 of which will be school liaison officers. So our goal is to put an officer in every school in Peoria, whether it be a high school or elementary school. And we also have 17 new firefighters that we are hiring to help with a new public safety and fire department that we're building in the Vistanza area.
I don't think anyone out there doesn't want a safe city, so that's wonderful to hear. They also, I would imagine, want to continue to see their city grow and thrive, and that is also a top priority. So what is being done and what's within that budget that is helping to promote the economic development of the city of Peoria?
Something that we should always keep in mind is that although it seems as if our city is only growing in the northern part of our city, it's not the only place where we're putting our efforts. We're spending a lot of time and effort in redeveloping our downtown. The council has approved $15 million to revitalize our downtown area. We have a new barbecue coming. We have a new series of small restaurants and other amenities that are coming to downtown. So we're really excited about what's going on downtown. But as our city grows in the northern part of our city where we have most opportunities for growth, we are setting aside a significant amount of money to bid on state land that will be auctioned so we can create an economic engine and control the fate of the city's economic future when it comes to the growth that's happening in the northern part of our city.
So many projects on the horizon, a lot of new exciting growth. And with that growth does come concerns and questions that people that live in the city of Peoria have when it comes to water security, and really wanting to know what is the future of our water look like and will our needs be met, and what in that budget is used to address that.
Absolutely a top concern of mine as well is to make sure that we have enough water for the future of Peoria. So we have both short-term and long-term goals that we've set forth. Our short-term goals are related to pulling out of the ground the water that we've stored in cases we have shortage. So we're putting a lot of wells in. We also want to increase the amount of reclaimed wastewater we use to replace the potable water that we're using for turf irrigation, like at Paloma Park. So we're spending a lot of time and effort on our short-term needs by putting wells in the ground to pull out water that we've stored, and also to replace potable water with reclaimed wastewater. On the longer term, we have a significant amount of money being set aside in our 10-year capital improvement plan, so we can plan for our long-term future. And what that looks like is using our reclaimed wastewater for potable use. We're not the only city in the valley that's doing this, but it's the right thing to do. It's the responsible thing for us to do, is to look to that long-term future. And that's not going to be cheap. So we're already planning for our needs in the 10, 15-year range, and part of that is trading our reclaimed water so we can potentially use it as potable water.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you kind of showing us an overview of what is inside that historic budget that was recently passed.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for watching, and be on the lookout for more episodes as we continue to focus on issues that are important to you.
Hello, my name's Scott Gonzalez. This is Desert Dragons Kempo Karate. What I teach is American Kempo Karate. It's a language-based art. I wanted something that would elevate each student based on what they're capable of doing. They're also learning different applications as far as types of attacks they might have to deal with. You learn how to lead, you learn how to listen. You're challenged with exercise. I want to train this as much as I want to train the brawn. We provide classes for kids from 4 years old on up to adults. My oldest right now, I believe, is 72. We go from anywhere brand new white belts all the way up to, we got junior black belts out there. That's what Desert Dragons is. It's a community. It's not a school. It's not a chain. It's geared through me. I keep it on the wall. We talk about that one act of kindness, and it's the oak tree. It's the heart of the why I do this. Be kind, but have the tools to protect that kindness. It's a place to explore, a place to make mistakes, a place to learn from.
Peoria is excited to announce WeRide, a new and affordable on-demand rideshare service. WeRide is a by-appointment service that picks you up at designated locations and takes you to popular destinations around Peoria. The best part? Each ride is only $2 for adults and $1 for children over 13, seniors over 60, veterans, and people with disabilities. Children under 12 ride free. Ready to ride? Here's how. Download the WeRide app, visit the website, or call the number 623-777-4330. If you are using the app or website, simply select your pickup and drop-off locations from the map. Neighborhood stops can typically be found at gathering points like your neighborhood mailbox, community centers, or other locations just a short walk from your home. That's it! Just show up 5 minutes before your scheduled ride time and you're on your way. You can pay through the app or pay your driver with cash or card. Exact change is required. WeRide vehicles are ADA friendly and seat 4 to 8 passengers. WeRide is currently available in a limited area during a 1-year pilot period. Learn more at WeRideAZ.com or download the WeRide app.
It's number 3 for the crew at Ta Carbone. This one lands right in our city at 67th Avenue and Peoria, and we could not be more excited to have him here. For the last 16 years, Gilberto and his crew have been serving up some of the best tacos your taste buds will ever meet. From their signature carne asada, which you have to try, to their pastor and even some very traditional favorites like tripe and lengua. Juan Duarte, the manager of their newest spot, said their Mexican grill style was missing in the valley and led them to begin this journey.
Why did you want to open a restaurant like this?
There wasn't many around like this, like charcoal tacos.
so it was very rare. If you saw one, I think there was only one when we opened.
The charcoal grill is the way of this menu. You'll see it when you walk up to order. It creates this signature taste that you cannot mistake.
It's cooked a little bit slower than in a hot grill, so you have to get the right temperature to cook it right. And then a lot of the grease and the fat falls off when you're cooking it on the grill, so it makes it really good.
Tell us what kind of sets this apart from other taco restaurants.
Well, our food's really fresh. We make everything every morning, so you have to be here really early to start cooking, start prepping.
Okay, the prep work that goes into this menu is something that, well, I can't even describe it. I just want to show you. So come with me. We're going to go back in the kitchen, and I want to introduce you to my friend Gladys, because when you see what they're doing to prep your tacos, you might just live at this place. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Gladys is here. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Okay, you are fast at work. So you're not kidding when you say you do everything from scratch.
Yeah, fresh.
Fresh. Okay, so these are green chilies, right?
Yes, of course. We roast them every morning, peel them, and cut them up for the taco heads.
See, they don't cut any corners. Okay, and then here's Juan. You already met Juan. Here's Juan. Now, what is he doing over here?
He is cutting meat for the tacos. It's fresh. He does this every morning, early.
How many pounds do you guys usually go through?
No?
To lose track. Huh?
Yes.
How many?
Couple.
300 or 400 pounds? So what you're saying is people love the tacos if you're going through that much meat.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So from there, then come with us around here. Gladys, I'm kind of making myself at home here.
It's okay.
Because you have to see the operation. The grill, the charcoal grill, the famous charcoal grill. But when you come in and order, everything is done made to order.
Yes, of course. Just, you order, we throw everything on the grill. Next, you prepare your food fresh.
Fresh.
Yes.
And there's nothing like it.
No.
Okay, well, I can't wait to start eating tacos.
Yeah, they're delicious.
One bite and you'll have yourself a new fave taco spot. It's quick, casual, and you'll taste the love and devotion they serve in every single bite. Come see my friends at Ta Carbone.
Welcome to the Rio Vista Recreation Center, a family-friendly facility that encourages the community to participate in activities that promote a healthy lifestyle. Stop by and participate in one of our 3 open gym sports that we rotate throughout the month: basketball, volleyball, pickleball. An open gym calendar is available at the front desk or on our website. Kids aged 2 to 7 years old can visit our Kids Corner for up to 2 hours. The room features arts and crafts, toys, movies, and more. Staff is present with children at all times. Our rock climbing wall features 6 auto belay climbing routes that vary in difficulty. Test out your climbing skills with us. Drop in for a game of racquetball. Members can reserve a week in advance, and we have all the equipment you need. Check out our new renovated high-intensity room that features multiple rowers, a 360-degree multifunctional trainer, air bike, and more. Our fitness floor features various types of cardiovascular equipment, circuit machines, and a free weight area. Visit our indoor track for a walk or a jog. Drop in and participate in one of our group exercise classes. Try out yoga, kickboxing, dance cardio, and more. Pre-registration is required for our Silver Sneakers Classics class. For more information about our facility, stop by our front desk, check out our website, or give us a call. We hope to see you soon.
Well, I've taken you inside Blanco to show you around, and today we're headed inside North to taste all the food, drinks, and everything else in between.
Peoria marks the spot for the newest location of North Italia.
Ever since we opened, just a lot of people coming in, trying our food, loving our food.
Executive Chef Adrian says they've stuck to what they know best and what works. Really fresh,